I mean, tonight it's just kind of crazy how all this stuff works out. But anyway, um, no, we were on one side of the mic and not the other side. Yeah, I've seen that too. Anyway, tonight's guest is Sky McKinnon. Sky, are you ready to win? You pumped up, man? You ready to kick some butt uh,
Absolutely.
or so? I mean, I know you've heard about some of the stuff that goes on over there, and Jimmy, what do you mean? No, really, it's like a whirlwind when you get there. I mean, it's you get checked into your room. I think they give you the first day to kind of get comfortable, and then bam, it's like it's like Emerald when he cooks. Bam! I mean, it's just no, guys. Trust me. I go to a lot of their classes and a lot of the other stuff they go to, so I'm there with them, so I know what they're going through. It's just I'm not an author or an illustrator, so I'm just there as as a happy observer. Yes, yes. Oh man, there's a lot of tears. So there's a lot of other stuff that goes on. It's just so much stuff that actually some of we can't actually even talk about tonight because there are certain things that are still secret because we're still 2 months out. But so have you heard any horror stories or anything? Have you heard it's just gonna be fun or scary or something in between? I'm just interested. I always ask when people hear about it before they get there.
Oh man, now I haven't heard any horror stories, and depending on your ability to think on your feet, I mean, I've heard some of the projects that have you working on there, like you get prompts, you got to turn around, do work 24 hours,
Yep.
really nitty gritty business stuff. So if you're not used to that, I could see that being stressful. But horror stories, no, I wouldn't say I've heard that. Just a lot of excitement, a lot of love from everyone who's been there, who's had the privilege of coming back around to get more involved in the contest and author services. But generally, what I see and what I feel myself is just a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, even after so many times entering, watching so many friends and colleagues get a chance to go and have that experience.
It's interesting. I'll tell you that it is one of those things that'll be with you. It'll be with you for life. That's for sure. And with them, and they look at it differently. Once you win, you're part of their family. So I see a lot of times because I travel with them. Sometimes I catch them up at Dragon Con or FanX or something like that, or some of the other places we maybe get headed to, and I'll come hang out with them in a booth. We'll do interviews. But what's nice about it is you'll see a lot of the winners in the booth. Whoever happens to be living around there, if somebody just flew in or whatever, they give you that time, to do that. And with Sarah and Emily out there selling, it attracts a lot of attention because them girls can hustle. And so no, I'm serious. I mean, I give Sarah shit about it all the time, but they look. They can sell holy water to the Pope. I'm not kidding you, man. But anyway, it attracts a lot of attention. So you're sitting there with your books or your artwork or whatever you're there for, and you get to be part of that excitement and part of that. And then going back to LA, the 24-hour story is one of my favorites to watch because I got a lot of good film on that, a lot of good footage where some of these people's heads look like they were going to go. Stories like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I wrote it, and then I looked at it, and I threw it away, and then I wrote another. And I looked at it again, and then I looked at the clock, and it's 4 a.m. I'm like, oh shit! It gets stories like that, but they get through it and all. And you have 10 Powers and Jody Lanai hosting that class, and they're really good at what they do, and they're a lot of fun to listen to. Lots of really good advice, and they just take them and throw them downstairs, and whichever one lands up is the ones they use to torture people with. But what do you mean, Chris? Is that a true story? It's a semi-true story. Yes, in a way, it's a true story, but we can't get into that right now. But it is a semi-true story. But it's a lot of fun, and then there's so many other things they show you how to prompt. I can't remember the lady's name, and I really like this woman. So she went around. She gave everybody like 3 sheets of paper, and then she started giving them little things, thimbles and all kind of little dumb stuff, and it was a 20-sided dice. So when you roll a 20-sided dice, you look on the first list and it would have a category or something, and then you would pick that, and then you'd roll it again and you go to the next list, and then those 4 or 5 things would give you the basis of your story. It was interesting to watch. So when it was all said and done, because I actually heard some pretty good stories come out of it just sitting there in the class with them. When it's all said and done, she walks up, she hands me the stack of papers, the dice, and some other stuff. She said, "I know you can do this." I'm like, "What?" I said, "I'll try, but I'm not feeling the love, sweetie." but I mean, they're really good. And I mean, everybody I met there is really good. And to be honest with you, and keep this in the back of your head when you're there, it's a good piece of advice I'm going to give you. Everybody's very approachable. They want you to talk to them. And I'm just a little secret, but they really want you to come up and approach them and talk to them because they feel like that's the people who are really going to be the guys that get ahead, the guys and the ladies, sorry, that are going to get ahead. You know, they're going to be the ones that go out and change the world and change the industry because they're out there, because they're showing themselves when they want to know the information. I mean, Dean Wesley Smith has so much information he could fill a freaking encyclopedia. Um, and then and there's nobody there who doesn't. I mean, whether they're an author or an illustrator, they're the top of their line, and so it's always great to hang out with them and listen to them. I don't always know who's going to. They don't tell me who the speakers are until I get there. So I know most of the speakers personally, but still, but they like to be approached and they like to be asked questions, and they call it. Um, oh, oh hell! Now I forgot they call it. Well, anyway, in the evenings, everybody usually gets in one of the lobbies and sits around and starts having cocktails, and there's a ton of information gets exchanged right there. And you'll be surprised how many of them will invite you to lunch with them. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that is one of the big things I've heard over and over again from past winners is just the generosity, the friendliness, just the welcomeness of that community once you get there to the workshop. I think what you were referring to, I've heard as a BarCon. I don't know if that's the
Yeah, that's
official
it. That's it.
term,
That's
but
official name, Barcon. That's what it is. That's actually what it is. For some reason, it was just out of my brain, but and they do. Everybody will sit around and chat, and everybody's very approachable, very nice. You get a lot of good stories. You'll get a lot of good information, a lot of tidbits and stuff that because they're going to teach you a lot in the class, but when you're just sitting around snacking and drinking, whether it's Coke or booze, everybody's looser, everybody's more relaxed. So everybody's just asking, and it'll get a little bit more personal and stuff will come out. And it really helps the people who are winning to really understand what they're going to be going through if they really want to be successful in the future. And it's a good basis to jump your ass out into the world and do it. Because I know a lot of the authors coming in are already working and trying to get in certain places on there. So uh, I was just getting ready to ask you the name of the story, Chris. Just calm down, man. Damn. Anyway, Sky, what's the name of your story? Since Chris is about to jump out of the page over here to ask you. Um, what,
yeah, the name of the story I have come up in the anthology is "The Edge of Where My Light Is Cast."
this is gonna be interesting. Now I know. Just give me a little tidbit because I don't want to give it away. One, because I'm going to read it myself. So, it's but just it's I know it's hard to give a tidbit on these short stories, but just a little tidbit to kind of let people know what it is, so y'all can jump around and read whatever story you want first. People, I'm just telling you, you don't have to read them in order. It's not what you have to do. But just give me a little tidbit. I'm gonna shut up and let you go ahead and figure this out.
Yeah, so just a little bit of a teaser. This is a story told from the perspective of a simulated house cat, and really the first mystery you jump in with is they are suddenly aware that their owner, this person that they have a very close bond with, is missing. They haven't been home for a few days, and really getting into that mentality of something is wrong. They need to find this person. They need to solve that mystery, and it's a very, I guess, down to earth story, despite being this sort of perspective of a digital persona and kind of investigating that. But it was just a lot of fun to get into that character, lot of fun to play with, and I hope people really enjoy both figuring out that mystery and just a lot of the philosophical underpinnings of that.
Well, see, didn't that sounds interesting? I got some. What is that, Genie? Well, I know. You're not going to know till the book gets out. No, I get an advance copy so I can read it before I get there. Usually, it'll come in a week or two, and then I'll read it, and then I'll read it on a plane coming in. Yes, I like to read it on a plane. Well, that's what I'm saying. Once you read it the first time, it's easy to read it in a couple of hours. Even though, well, that's them back there. Well, 40 is not back there, but this is 31, 36, 32, 33, 30, 36. What is that? 37 over there, 38. That's actually one of the stories from last year made into a novel right there. He's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. David Hankins. It's the death of a taxman. It's a good story. It was an interesting story. So, and that's another thing. As we're going along, we tell people all the time, you know, when you go into books or when you get books, when they come back as guests, we put them up there and they stay up there until it gets too full and we have to move them to another book. You know, put up another book. Matter of fact, Wolf Moon's Super Secrets sitting right here in front of me on how to write a good book, a howling good story. So, you know, they're you know, these kind of things are really good for y'all. It's just a plus way to sell things. And you know, Bob the alien back here likes to read, so he keeps stacking up books. It's one of those. So, when did they say you were arriving? Was it like Saturday or something? Or I know it's different. I'm always curious though.
Yeah, we're, I believe, coming in Friday night, getting some time to settle in, and then things will kick off on that Saturday, if I'm
Yeah, because
remembering my release correctly.
yeah, no, you're probably right because the gala is one day early this year. It's
Yeah.
usually on Friday, so it's on Thursday this year. And what do you mean, Jimmy Lee? I have no idea what hotel is. No, I'm telling you, Joni doesn't tell me anything until she sends me the. Actually, when she sends me the flight information, she still don't even tell me what hotel it is. When they pick me up, we go right full into the hotel. I know what hotel we're at. No, I'm serious. It's well, really, I don't really need to know what hotel is. I'm not going to tell any of you, so I don't need to know. If I asked her, yes, she would tell me, but that's not something I really feel like I. You're such an idiot. Um, no, you can't. Now you might get to meet Sky, like if he shows up at one of the Dragon Cons or one of the places like that. But the Writers of the Future event is a closed event. It's for winners, press, and judges, and of course, author services people. Author service people are great. I don't know how many of you have got to meet yet, Sky, but they're a great group over there. They're just there's a just plus. They've got a great cappuccino machine there too. Sorry,
Oh,
I love this thing. This is one of those big gold monstrosity ones. This looks like you have to have a PhD to work this thing. Oh man, I got a picture of it somewhere. It's a great. No, it makes a great cup of coffee. I mean, great cappuccino. I ate last 3 times I went. I got some. I went over and talked Joni, the other Joni, into making me some. Um, but see, there's lots of good stuff like that. You'll get to visit, you know, all of that stuff over there, and you'll get to see how all of it's set up. It's just an interesting thing, and then you know they sneak in tours and stuff. Last year they went to the tar pits and things like that. It's like, you're coming. I'm like, no, I got other things I'm doing. Thank you. I'm not really. You know, I could care less about dead dinosaurs. I ain't gonna lie to you about it. It's just one of those things. So I mean, so you got to talk to Joni, right? That's who called and told you and said, "Hey, you just won."
yeah, that is one of the best experiences. I think it's really that second phone call because about a
Mhm.
decade ago, I got to be a finalist, got to talk to her a little bit, but I, once you've started entering the contest, I mean, Joni is she's very busy. She does a lot of
Mhm.
good work, but she
She
also
does.
really goes out of her way to build a professional relationship, a friendly relationship with the writers in the contest, even if they haven't hit that winning finalist streak yet. She's a member of the community, and it's just been
She is.
wonderful.
She's just a lot of fun, and she is a whirlwind. I'm not gonna lie to you, but she's a lot of fun. She's nonstop. When I see her, it's like she's great because she'll. What I like about her is because I'm pressed. You know, I'm there. I'm friends with a lot of them now because I've been there. This will be my 4th year, fifth group, 4th year, and so I'm actually friends with quite a few of them now. But she'll go out of her way. She'll come swinging by. Joe, everything's good. You need anything? Everything's great. You need anything? Room's okay. Food's good. Everything's good. Everything's working right. I'm like, yeah, Joni, cool. She's like, okay. And then she always gives me a great seat at the gala. You know, so I mean, it's front row, first stage to the left. It's always a great place. She just makes sure. I don't even know how she does it, to be honest with you, because there's so many of us. It's, you know, it's not just the winners. It's the judges. It's the other people. It's people like me. And somehow or another, she keeps up with all of them. You know, or like in the morning, I'll see her. I'll be having breakfast with John. She'll whiz by. Good, good. Okay, see you later. She's gone, man. It's like, what the hell just came by? But Emily's the same way. Once they start working on putting the gala together, she's just you only see her late at night when they're coming back or early in the morning. She's another whirlwind. She's like, John and we just goof off and walk around and talk with people. No, I'm just kidding. John stays busy too. No, John's the big boss, Chris. He's the president of Galaxy Press. Yes, he's the big boss, and he's the one to make sure everything goes on over there. No, I'm media. That's what I'm there for. I'm considered friendly media. That's why I'm there. And at the very end of the lecture, at the very end of the thing, I give a little lecture about an hour and a half long about really how to deal with people like me, or how to deal with people like me when I'm in a bad mood would be a better way of saying it. Because you never know what kind of jackass you get called in a press, and they might have read your story or just looked at your cover and decided whatever. And I tell people, call them out. I said, if you get with a host and they're giving you crap, and they've told you read they read your story, I'd ask them questions about it. I would too. I'd be like, oh, well, when the character did this, how did you like what happened next? And they're like, duh. You got them. They have to be nice after that because they look like a moron. I mean, this is easy ways to get them. It is. So, man, coming in Friday, going to be out there hanging out, getting ready. So I always ask this question: how many times? 5, 6, 10, 20, 50? Because it's just this thing about winning varies a lot from people.
Yeah. Okay, I've gotten this question a lot, and
Yeah, well,
the honest
14
question
seems
is,
to be the average, but still, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no. For me, I lost track because I started entering this contest, when I was like 18 around, and that's been more time than I'm willing to admit. But
I hear that.
I over the course of 20 years, you enter sometimes every quarter, and then life gets busy. You take a break. For me, it's got to be somewhere over 30. I know there's a lot of folks who will track like their exact records, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say
well,
for me, it's been over 30.
well, you're in good company with 30. I talked to quite a few of them was 30. It was very few under 10. There was a couple of one-timers, which, wow, I'm like, wow, really? There's more first-timers with the illustrators than there is with the authors, though.
Yeah.
But a lot of the authors, when I asked, it was between like 12 and 20 or 22. But then a lot of and I shouldn't say it like this, I hope nobody's listening, but a lot of the really good stories seem to have come from some of the ones that took a little longer to get in. I know Preston Dennett, I think, took 49 times to get in. There's a couple others that were 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and all of them had really good stories. So I don't think it really matters. I think it's just the luck of the draw, because it's also the competition that year. It's not just how good your story is. It's also how good those other 12 people ahead of you one is. So it's a tough. And I mean, they got honorable mention and a couple other things that they give. And I like the fact that they're willing to tell you, hey, if you'd done this, you might have had a better chance.
Yeah, and I mean, there the contest does provide a good kind of metric of how you are developing as a writer, but once you start hitting that semi-finalist, finalist tier, you said luck, and that is a little bit a part of it because you don't know what other people are writing, and the best thing you can do to, I guess, refine your chances is push for a niche, something that means something to you that not everyone else is doing. Because one thing I consistently heard from the coordinating editors is you get to quarter 3, quarter 4, someone might send in a really good like cyborg story, but they've already had a winner in quarter 2, and you have no way of knowing that. And
Yeah,
I
you
know
don't. That's the thing. You don't really.
yeah, so at that point, it becomes one, it's a bit of luck because you put together an anthology. You want to have a really strong variety that works well together. So it's not just the best story, but it's also the best fit for the collection. It's all these other things. So it becomes also about persistent. And I think that does accurately reflect, if you're going into traditional publishing, the kind of selection that goes in there as well. But again, there's a lot of people that if you're trying to get in, if it's your 10th, 20th, 30th time entering, stick with it, because one thing I consistently see is that writers that reach that level, that really stick with it, that your time will come.
Oh, I agree. I mean, if you've got that willpower to stay in there, it will. Especially since the fact that sometimes you get feedback that can help you, either help that particular story, or either help that particular story or help you lead to a better story. A better story that comes out of it. It's when I talk to everybody, it's strange because you'll hear oh, I got honorable mention, but I got some advice with it, or I got this, and I got some advice that would help me. And sometimes I'll even go into what the advice was, and you know what? Of course, it must have all been good because they're all winners now, you know, or I wouldn't be talking to them. So it does work out. It is a little strange though, to watch, but still, and it does take it and you know, and now I'm going to ask you this, but I mean, I know it takes a certain amount of willpower because you know rejections are still rejections, whether it's from Writers of the Future or anybody else that you're sending to. You know, I always ask the host, how, I mean, how do you do with it? You got an outlet for that? You go out and kick the dog or something, go jogging, or just you know, I don't know. I know a lot of people do it with different ways, and some people it doesn't even bother. So, are you one of the ones you can write it and say, "Oh well, I didn't get it," and say, "I'll just try better next time."
Yeah, I would say when I was younger, those first two rejections really hurt. I would take them really personally, and I'd have a lot of identification and investment in that story. And it is one of those things you grow a thicker skin for over time. Me, nothing in particular I did to cope with it. Just spend time with friends and loved ones, pursue other things I'm interested in, and then get back to it. I think in terms of overall willpower for me, uh, the writing and the storytelling comes before the publishing. I That is how I
Mm-hmm.
find
Okay.
joy in life. That is how I express myself. So even if honestly, I hit a point where I was like, okay, this I'm never going to win this contest. I'm probably never going to be traditionally published, but because the writing was there for me, I just kept doing it, and so it was really surprising and a really pleasant surprise to get that call from Joni.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I tell people all the time you have to apply yourself, and if you're steadily doing it, and you're paying attention to the advice, and you're really watching what you're doing, eventually you're going to get there. I mean, and again, you know, it does have a lot to do with competition because there is a lot of competition. A lot of people submit. One of the reasons that they brought me on board was to help them to bring in more overseas because we have a huge overseas audience. To help them to bring in more overseas people, and there's quite a few more now these years. And so I mean, it's some. I mean, it's not even like you're competing with the freaking world. So the fact that you won is a damn good thing. I mean, I think this contest is currently at least in 140 countries. That's where it's recognized at. So I'm thinking, Jesus, man, that's a lot of people to be competing with. But yet, you know, you're still there. I mean, I know one of the best pieces of advice I ever heard any of them give. Don't listen to your mom. Don't listen to your dad. Don't listen to your brother. Don't listen to your sister. Go find one of your friends that is a real, you know what, and say, hey, read this for me. And I can understand that, you know, because when I first got into radio and I do stuff and I'd send it to my mom. My mom said, you plan on doing this for a living? I said, no, I got a construction company. She's like, you're going to do this? Joe, it's horrible, man. I'm like, Mom, really? She's no, it's horrible. I said, so I'd get on there and I'm like, you know, my mom says it's horrible. I had about 100,000 followers back then. I was like, something's not right. Maybe I need to get some other advice. But I mean, it's one of those things with Sky. I mean, tell me, you got anything you're getting ready to work on? You can try publishing some other stuff, or before I let you get out of here.
Oh yeah, I've got a novel in the works that I'm revising right now, hoping to get in the young adult scene. I grew up reading Redwall, Watership Down, a lot of stuff in that family, so I would love to get a chance to kind of continue that myself. That was a big part of my childhood, and just seeing those stories to continue to develop. I'm also hoping to, if everything goes well, start up a free kind of online web series that's got, if you like the story in the anthology, because it's got the perspective from, I mean, it is kind of an AI, but also from a cat. I'm working on a series of small town kind of cozy mysteries that I'm hoping to get launched. So I will release more of that when I'm able to.
Well, let's see. That kind of stuff actually sounds fun. You know what? I love hanging out with all of y'all because I've always been told because one of the other organizations I'm associated with does a lot of research, and they've been bugging me for I don't know 2 decades to write a book. So hanging out with y'all and listening to you on the radio, and then getting to talk with all of the judges, I may actually get one done. I got 67,000 words written, so I pity the fool who has to edit.
but but you know, if you can do that work, that is so much of it is the
Which
discipline to do that work.
it is, but you know what? And I'll be honest about this before we bring Tyler on. It mostly happens when I'm out there with them. When I'm here, it's a lot harder because there's so much. Like I'm in studio right now. It's just always so much going on here. And this studio I'm in right now is actually in the house, so there's always something going on here. And I had a construction company day, so my life it gets hectic. When I'm there, I'm just there for that. So in the evenings, after I get through with all the interviews, like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll just sit there at the desk, and it just flows. And I guess if I could find that kind of peace around here, I could do it. But it's just I've tried, man. I can't. It's just too hard to do here. But I guess I need more of a focus than a regular writer or a professional writer or someone who does this. My brain just cannot focus in when there's all kind of other BS going on around me. But I've watched a good friend of mine. He's a professional writer. He writes 9 to 5, by the way. He's got 168 books now, and that's what he does. He gets up in the morning. Now he's got his own office, but you'll hear the dogs barking, the kids playing, shit going on. He's still. I went over to visit him when I'm talking to him. He's, yeah, Jay, how you been? He's typing away while he's talking to. I said, dude, you sure you're not typing our conversation? He said, no, I'm good. I said, how can you? He said, don't worry about it. I'm fine. What the hell ever, man. You couldn't pay me money to do that, man. I'm just telling you couldn't. But Sky, you've been great, man. I can't wait to meet you when we get out to LA. We'll get hooked up. One of the nice things about this, the people who get on now get earlier shots at the longer interviews because y'all came in first. The further down the list they are, the longer it may take to actually get a real interview in. Because when we do an hour or 2 hours, we can only do so many a day because we're dividing our time between y'all, the contest people, the contest itself, the judges, and of course John and some other people are also out there doing interviews. So it gets a little hectic, is what it gets like. But I can't wait to see you. Nice to talk to you. And Sky, I hope to see. I just hope to see everything goes really good while you're here, man, because it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's tiresome, but it's a lot of fun. So thanks again, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, it is. And then I see we have, what is that? Taylor Vail. How you doing down there in the green room? We can't hear you right now, but he's in the green room. But I'm gonna drag you up here in a second. And boop, and there you are, Taylor. How you doing? That's Scott getting ready to go, and he's one of the other winners. You'll get to meet him when you're out there in Los Angeles, and partying every night until you can't die.
Yeah, I need to bring some board games, right?
Yeah,
it is. It's fun, but well, Tyler, hey, nice to meet you right off the bat. So why don't you tell our audience just a little bit about yourself, man?
Yeah, I'm Tyler. Been practicing art, like trying to go into it full time as a career for about 4 years now. When I first got into it, I didn't realize how difficult it was. And I really wanted to make a career out of it. I was working at grocery stores, just trying to make a living. And 4 years later, I'm still struggling to get as good as I want to be because there's always trying to get that next level and looking at those people that have been doing it for 20 years. So.
So you wanted the illustrators? That sucks. I can't see what it looks like. I should have made John send it to me. Damn it. Or Carmen. I should have actually made it send to him. Think about it, but. So wait, so you're going to get to meet some legends, man, when you get out there. I mean, some serious legends, and Echo's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. She's good at what she does, but she's tough. She's a coordinating judge, but she's really good. Usually Tom Wood's there, he does NFL, NBA stuff like that. He's a character. I'll just say I like him. We hang out, and then Santos is there. Dan DeSantis is there. He's usually there.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, because he's an outstanding artist, is what he is.
Every time I start a new piece, I go over there and look in his portfolio and try to steal whatever I can.
Yeah. Well, he's a great artist, and he's actually a really nice guy, man. He's easy to talk to. He likes to talk with y'all. He's very laid back. I was telling Sky about the judges. When you're at the BarCon, they want to chat. A lot of times they'll invite you to lunch with them and stuff, or they'll just hang out, or if they might catch like a group of y'all sitting in the lobby and just come out and talk and say they want to hang out, like in the barbecue. They'll all be out there chatting with everybody. It's a very laid back atmosphere for as intense it is, because it's actually quite intense, but it's also in a way it's kind of laid back in the same stroke. But everybody there is all get the same goals to better themselves and come out of this. They're already a winner. So, that's already bettering themselves as far as the career goes. And, I talk to a lot of people about writers of the future when I'm out lecturing. And it's well received. People really like it. I mean, the books are good. The artwork is good. I've met some fabulous artists last year, which I'm not even going to mention the name because they already get too much press as it is. It's well, I was telling Sky earlier. Authors tend to be a little bit more outgoing at these things than the illustrators are. Usually, we'll get the illustrators will be way more inverted than extroverted. Not all of them, just most of them. There was two particular young ladies last year who were, let's just say, very outgoing and leave it at that. They did a great job. And well, Larry Elmore was there last year, and April Solomon had just admired the daylights at him, and they were both doing dragon. So we got a dragon contest coming up later this year. I'm getting 3 of the best artists that come to Writers of the Future and 3 of the winners, and we're going to see who does the best dragon. So we're going to do it for a charity, and it's going to be an open contest, so anybody can actually join. But it's just one of those things we've been wanting to do for a while, and I've been talking with Larry about it last time I was in LA. And he's like, well, I'll do it. I draw the best dragons ever. I'm like, okay, Larry. And he's a lot of fun, man. I mean, you'll enjoy yourself. I mean, they're there for the questions. They're there to help you with style. And, for somebody who can only draw a stick man, I learned a lot about shading and other stuff like that. I mean, really, I can only draw a stick man, but now I know how to shade the stick man. I learned that from Santos, actually, and from Dan. And it's just, I spend a lot of time with them because a lot of them have oils. And I'm a big fan of oil paintings for some reason. Don't ask me why. It's just really nice, man. So how many times it take you to get in? 5, 6, 20, 50, it doesn't matter. As long as you win, you win. That's all that matters. Sky got in first time, man. Damn.
This was my first time applying too. I've been following it for about 3 years. And then my friend was like, you have to apply. I was like, there's no way I'm going to win. And so I applied first time. Got in.
Yeah, well, see, the illustrators do a little better with first timers than the authors do for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but there was a first time winner last year. I think there's been a first time winner since I've with the illustrators since I've been with them. It's a lot of fun. I mean, there's so much stuff you're going to learn. They bring in live models, which is really nice. Because I was sitting there one day, and I'm like, who the hell is these 2 people in here? These 2 girls carrying swords and stuff around. And Echo goes, that's the models. I said, what models? She said, no, the models for the class. I'm like, what? So then she goes up there with herself and lays down and poses how she wants the girls to pose. I was cracking up. I said, I got pictures of that for blackmail in the future, right? I also met her. Yeah, she's a lot of fun. She's really good at what she does. And I noticed the classes are very responsive to how she does things. So, but they all give great classes, so you're gonna have a lot of fun, and it's definitely interesting. And I don't know if Dan's coming this year, and I know he tries to come every year because he's a blast to hang out with. And Dan, Tom, and Echo hang out together most of the time, so they're all 3 a blast. And I got in trouble 2 years because they said I got them all drunk. I did not. That was a rumor. That was a rumor. No, there was no evidence for that at all. There was no evidence. But I mean, they really are. It's a lot of fun and it's a lot of fun. So have you heard anything scary about the artists out there? I'm just curious because rumors get started. You never know what people hear.
No, the only one I've heard is DeSantos can be hard on his students, but that's usually what you want when you pay to be a student. You want them to be hard on you, so that way you learn more effectively, right? They're just like, oh, good job every time. You're not learning all that much. You'll
see with the artists, they're the illustrator people. The judge are a little bit tougher because they figure, look, we got you for X amount of days. Mm-hmm. All right, we want you to be successful, and it's not just that. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Sometimes the artists hire some of the winners to come to work with them. If somebody's behind on projects or if for some reason they like a particular individual, they'll put them to work. And I've seen them do it several times now, which I've actually been quite impressed with that they've got it. And I know too, now the gaming companies are looking for more illustrators because they just need more. But now since they're going to be introducing AI into this, the gaming companies have decided that we're going to keep all of our illustrators and hire more to oversee what AI does. So they're going to get all their illustrators together and do the design. and then they're going to turn it over to AI and let AI mass produce it. But they still want their illustrators babysitting it to make sure it's exactly what the company wants. The only real difference for them is instead of taking maybe 3 months to get a draft together or something good, they'll do the original draft with the illustrators, and then AI will put it all together in probably about a week or faster. So that just speeds it up for people like you and I to get the games faster. That's all.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with laws too.
Yeah, we do, and because right now it's you can't sell it because it's matter of fact, you can't not this banner, but the banner for one of my other shows is actually an AI banner, and the problem is I can't own it.
Yeah, you can't copyright them.
It's you just there's nothing you can copyright there, and for some reason the government's not really looking to copyright any of this. They're just kind of like they're like, well, maybe.
That's a good thing in my view.
Oh, I think it's a good thing too. Well, and there's so many people use it for trying to hoax stuff, but AI is not quite there yet. There's still issues with hands and feet. It gets better every time I see it. It's better.
Yeah, let's give it another 2 years.
There's still issues, and then there's a company writing a software so that they can know if it's AI or if it's been created by a human. So I'm not exactly sure how the hell that's going to work either. But I always ask, because for hosts, it's not as. I mean, for authors, this is not a big a deal yet. It can write stories. They're usually crappy stories, but it can write stories. It can do them. You'd be surprised though. One of the guests I had on, Jeff Weiner, he's out there in Vegas. He's the first one that really brought me into AI to show me what it could do damage wise, and it's there's just so many things that this can be used for, but for authors, it just doesn't seem quite. It's the stories get disjointed. But he did a comic book while we were live on the show. By the way, it did the artwork, the balloons, and all the writing just from 3 paragraphs that he wrote. It was actually pretty damn good. If you would have been a kid, you'd have probably bought the damn thing, which really bites because that's somebody's job's going right out the damn window there. And then now a bunch of companies like Marvel and DC are decided saying, wait a minute, you're stealing this from our stuff. It's copyrighted. And they're like, no, it's AI. You can't really copyright it against AI. I don't know where the hell this is going to end up. I know it's going to end up in court a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to see some regulations. I would at least just like a stamp of this was created with AI at the bare minimum. So that way people know.
It should have to be included in the software, that some kind of watermark or something that shows that, hey, this is AI.
Yeah. That,
and for contests like this, eventually they're going to have to do something like that anyway, because, we've already had people try to get in with AI art.
Yeah.
It's one of them things. What is that, Philip? No, AI's got a lot of uses, but not when it. The problem with AI is people like Tyler could find themselves on the other end of it, and where AI is putting them out of work because AI can do a whole set in 2 days or 20 hours, where that takes them 2 months. Because if you're doing art, you got to do it right. Well, no, you can use your computers now. I mean, there's lots of ways. Oh, I was going to ask you to do that. What's your favorite medium anyway? Is it like Node or Word? I mean, I'm on the wrong programs. Do you prefer to use a book, a brush, or a program?
I usually use Photoshop as my go-to. It's quicker and less messy than all the oils. I also have sketchbooks everywhere.
Yeah. Well, no,
whenever I can. But usually Photoshop is the one I go with, and a lot of painting. I favor the more like Magic the Gathering, old school Dungeons and Dragons. Whenever I get commissions, a lot of them are for Dungeons and Dragons characters I've been playing since I was a kid.
Well, you'll definitely love Larry then.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, Jesus. I don't know how much of that stuff he did. He did a lot of it, man.
Bring one of my old editions, but someone was working it. Get a sign.
Yeah, get a sign because he's great. I mean, he usually comes. He's insane, is what he is. But the man's at least 10 years older than I am. I'm pretty damn old, and he just never stops. He can talk circles around me, which is amazing. We sat up, me and him. It was Tom Wood, Larry Elmore, myself, and one of the winners. And I don't know, till like 3 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock the next morning. And all of us had things we had to do that morning, so there was no going to sleep. There was go take a shower, go have breakfast, and go to work. It's basically what it was. I think he had like a class at 9, and then Tom had one at 10. I had 2 meetings at 8 and another one at 9. I was at 10. I mean, I was like, this is ridiculous, man. But it is a lot of fun, and there was so much information swaps. Stuff like that is gold because so much stuff was swapped in those conversations, things that you're not even going to hear in the classes. This was just, more personal, how we got to hear, why we did it this way, why we chose these kind of models, and just stuff that just don't quite make it all the way into the classroom. But there's always so much more material that does. And yes, both Echo and Dan can be a little tough on this. But like I said, they've got you for a week. They want to take advantage of it. What do you mean, Mike? Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah. Oh yeah. Echo is the one we had. She's got a line of what we call naughty oils. No, that was her. Yeah, they were still up. No, those interviews are up. We use them. We use YouTube for storage these days. We don't really try to make anything over there anymore. But we have 2 YouTube accounts we keep for storage for all of our videos. But yeah, that's still over there. You can find it. Just type in. I think she was on News on the Flip Side on. Or just type in Echo Cherny because her name's going to be in the title. Yeah. Or there's one with her, Tom, and Larry, which is hilariously funny. I gave him the snowball mic and let him pass it around. Just that alone was worth watching, man. What do you mean? Randy Quill wants to know how old you are for some strange reason. He didn't give me a reason why. Which he looks about 28 to me, maybe 30.
Bingo, 28.
See, good, yeah. Why, you looking for a husband or something? What the hell's going on here with all these questions? Get out of here, y'all. Y'all are strange some weeks. Well, no. So Shannon's writing in. Shannon's actually a professional artist these days. I've been knowing her for a while. She started out drawing stupid. I'm not even going to say it was back when we were kids, and now she draws multi-million-dollar drawings. She just wants to know, how did you feel when Joni called you? Because she actually knows Joni.
Yeah, I was definitely excited. I was out trying to visit some family. I live in Texas, so we have to drive in the middle of nowhere when I'm visiting some family. And he told me I was really excited. I didn't even know quite all the details. I didn't know they fly you out and put you up, and then you stay with art directors and all that. So she was explaining all these details, and I was getting more and more excited. And then my phone suddenly cut out. And I had lost service, so I had to email her and then just wait like 30 minutes to get service again. So I was all nervous about that, but it all worked out. I was able to call her back.
Oh yeah, she's like I was telling Sky, she's a whirlwind, man. She just doesn't stop. I don't know how she does what she does, but she keeps track of everybody that's going on and knows everything that's going on. I was like, and still manages to stop around and check on me for whatever reason. She feels the need to check on me. I'm like, last time I said, I'm a grown ass man, right, Johnny? She's like, no, I got to check on you. I'm like, no, you're good. I'm not going anywhere, but you take good care of me. And so it's great. So, you're going to get up there. You'll see Sky up there walking up on the thing. And they do have a dress rehearsal, a rehearsal, which is nice. Because a lot of people ask me, oh my God, we just got to walk on a stage and say our thing. I said, no, there's a rehearsal. It's the day before there's a rehearsal. So you can go up and, get a feel of how it's going to feel on the stage. Because they have 3 monitors up there if you wanted to read. But most people write their own stuff. And some of them are really good. Some of them are short and sweet. Some of them are like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing up here?
I'm going to have to start YouTube and best speeches.
And well, you know what? The gala events are available. You can go watch them. You can just fast forward through. Yeah. And there was a lot of different ideas. A lot of it was funny as hell. A lot of it was kind of serious, but and then a lot of people have their families with them when they come out there. And when you get to the gala event, it's a Hollywood gala. There's going to be movie stars there and other people there, and politicians there. And like last year, I met the general in charge of Space Command, who's a very interesting fellow. Met some other things. Met the guy who replaced Johnny Depp on Jump Street 21 and his wife. They were very. He looks just like Johnny, by the way, but very, very nice people. Met a few other stars. Met a bunch of daytime stars. I'm like, get away from me, people. Daytime stars, back. No, just kidding. There's just a lot of people attend. It's a big thing. It's a Hollywood event. It's what it is, and you'll have a lot of fun. There's lights all over, press everywhere, There's a lot of press there, but you know what? It's all friendly press. They only allow friendly press to attend the events,
Awesome.
so you
Very,
don't
very
have to be.
exciting.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anybody jumping you. And there's somebody out there, little cute people out there walking around handing you food while you're waiting to get inside and stuff. And they give you what is it, salmon and filet when they get you inside. So they take good care of you. It's fun. What do you mean, Christopher? I don't think they serve booze at the gala now. I think it's alcohol free. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. They don't want anybody passing out on the stage. That's all.
After parties, though, maybe.
Now they got some wicked after parties, which that might be not supposed to be talked about, but still. What do you mean? Did I sponsor? First year I did, because the first year I went, there was dual sets, so instead of being 24 people there was 48. So there was a lot, and I was only there for 5 days, or 4.5 days actually. So there was just a lot of stuff to get done, and for some reason, a bunch of us ended up in my suite, and we had a party, and then we just ended up taking the whole party downstairs into one of the big rooms where we weren't supposed to be. And then last year they had a huge one. I mean, there were like half the winners were in there partying down. Yeah, it's fun. You drink. Well, you got to remember, in LA, you got to go buy booze before midnight if it's a weeknight, and before 2 a.m. if it's a weekend. Yes, yeah, I forgot about that the first year I was out there. I'm like, where the alcohol at? Oh, there's a good video of myself and Tom and carrying Echo down the street with her broken foot. That shit's hilariously funny. That's classified, people. Just so y'all know that it really is. So what's your plans? I mean, we have a few minutes. Wait. I mean, I mean, any place they can see your art, or anywhere you want to go this year with it?
Yeah, if you just search my name, tylervail.com. I have my own website, and then also ArtStation. Right now, I'm just trying to better my skills and get work. So if any art directors are listening, shoot me an email.
Yeah, and it's funny because more and more this shows being pushed out to, because like John's friends with the people over at Barnes and Noble and Books A Million and places like that, and I'm friends with a lot of publishing companies, especially a bunch of small ones. I even got friends over at Amazon, so they pop by and listen because they're all doing the same thing, looking for talent. Everybody's looking for talent. They're looking for that person that can take it to the next step. That's what they're all looking for. So good luck with that. When I see you in LA, what we'll do, usually when we're in LA, I'll get you to give me your website and we'll talk. We'll bring up some of your artwork and talk about it a little bit while we're talking about whatever. Because by then, we'll usually wait a day or two to let y'all kind of experience the fun that's there. It's no, it's fun. I mean, it's hectic, but it's fun. No, it's not everybody's busy there. It's not just the winners. The judges are, the people who work there are. Well, you've got the staff from Author Services and the staff from Galaxy Press. Yes, and they're just, all of them are busy. Everybody there you're going to meet is really nice people. They'll go way out of your way to help you. And there's a lot of them running around in different directions. You'll see me harassing a whole bunch of them. And it's just particularly ones I really like to harass. And you'll see them. They're like, Joe, leave me alone. Nope. Even I got a microphone and a camera in my hand. I'm like, hey, what's up? Let's go talk. No, get away from me. Like, they do work hard, though. All of them do. And one thing about them, don't be standing around. They put your ass to work. I'm talking about when we're at events, when we're doing events. What is that, Pete? One question, because we got to get our next guest. What's up? Oh, okay. So Pete just wants to know what was it that made you think that you could be an artist? Did you like mommy and daddy tell you it was good, or did one of your friends do, like a girlfriend or boyfriend? Well, I gotta mention girlfriend and boyfriend today. If I don't, I get hit on. People are mean to me now if I don't say that. I know, man.
No, as growing up, I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and saw those illustrations in there, and
that's great.
Like, someone's got to be being paid to do these, right? So
yeah, somebody's got to get, and you see how much where Larry is these days. Obviously, there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, and then I was just getting normal jobs, working at grocery stores, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna start branching out, try to make a real career out of this. So started just drawing and painting all the time, and really getting into it, and figured there's so much illustration and design that's needed. And if you go on any website, it has to be made by someone, and
That's right.
There's a lot of work I could actually do in there, and even though a lot of people are like, "Oh, if you become an artist, you're going to be starving the whole time," I'm like, maybe.
You may starve for a little while, but the truth of the matter is, if you're decent, you're not going to starve. That's really what it comes down to. It's really finding that first break that can bring you over to where you need to be. But for the most part, if you're good at what you do, you're not going to be a starving artist. You're going to actually probably end up being a wealthy artist. It's there's a lot. It's not like the old days when we had like billboards and posters and certain types of art. That was it. Today we have the internet, which just needs. I mean, just this radio station alone, we have more than 140 banners between the shows, the station. Somebody has to do all that shit.
Yeah.
And we have what 36 websites for the network. All of those have to be made. And I'm just a small guy. You can only imagine what iHeart and all of them, how much information they put in. And then everybody who does a video of not a regular video like this, but a video with any type of animation or artwork done, somebody's got to do that. Somebody's got to draw that. Somebody's got to sit down and draw the artwork ahead of time to see what the actual video is going to run before they put it together. Or any, and then we know Hollywood, it needs them just for pre-draws for its stupid shows. And they don't want to use AI for some reason. They're like, no, we don't really want to use AI for this. We'd rather have somebody real. I think it's easier. You can't really bitch at AI. Oh, AI, you piece of bleep, bleep, bleep. AI is going to give a blank, They're going to be like, sure, bitch at me some more. Now, you might go away. The human might say, shut up. Or, well, maybe I did mess up there. I got faith, man. Look, that's why I like meeting all of y'all. I know somebody in these groups are going to break out and be the next Van Gogh or what do you mean the next Steve Edison? Oh, you're talking about, I know what you're talking about now. That's a whole different thing, Christopher. Yes. Well, art is in everything we do. Mm-hmm. Even in designing cars, you have to have someone who can illustrate.
Shoes.
So someone will draw this first before they put it on, sketch it out, before they put it into a computer and make the concept of it. And even that usually has to be done by an artist. Yes. AI is not quite. I don't want AI designing my car yet. Let's just be honest about this, man. We can wait a little bit before we let AI start designing my cars. No. I'm not feeling the love here, man. No, I'm really not. So I was telling Sky earlier that they since now you're in the family, because basically that's what they consider this, is a big happy family. And I got to give them credit for that. So I see a lot of y'all at places like Dragon Con or FanX or any of the cons, because there's a lot of them these days. Because usually you'll see someone from Writers of the Future at almost every one of them. John loves to attend them, and they go out to sell books, but they go out to make connections. And while they're there, they got this big double-sized booth. They say, hey, look, if you're going to be there, come sit at the booth. Come sign some autographs. Come sell some books. Come sell some art. It's one of the things. And you get to hang out with the crazy people. What do you mean, Pete? No, Emily is not crazy. No, I'm not saying Emily's crazy. No, I got to see her in a couple of weeks. I'm saying Emily's crazy. You're not going there with me, my friend. No, Emily Goodwin is who we're talking about, John's wife. And she is the vice president of Galaxy Press. Yeah, she is. John's president. She's vice president. And I'm pretty sure Joni is in number 3. Yes, that's the group right there. Writers of the Future is a great group of people. They're just a lot of fun to talk to, a lot of fun to hang out with. And I think y'all are going to really enjoy it. I mean, I think you especially, the better, the lighter or the easier personality you have, the more you're going to enjoy this. If you get too overstressed about it, it'll probably put you over the deep end. But most of the people I see really have a lot of fun. You see a lot of laughter, some tears, good tears, people, not bad tears. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, good tears, happy tears. Lots of hugging going on, and it's a lot of fun. And so I can't even ask you, whose artwork for what book you're doing, what story you're doing, because I'll get in trouble for that. And yeah, no, people, we have something they do for that, so I'll get in trouble for that. That'll be bad, Joe. But this everybody who's talking tonight with us, guys, are one of the winners from Writers of the Future. You can check them over at writersofthefuture.com. That's where you can join the contest or learn the rules, or maybe even take the free course to learn how to be a writer. And of course, if you're interested in any of this material, including what he's going to be in book 40, which will be out in a couple of weeks, that's over at what are you talking about? It's galaxypress.com. Yeah. Yes, galaxypress.com. WritersOfTheFuture.com and Galaxy Press. Galaxy Press, where you go get the books. Writers of the Future, where you go write the books and put them in. There you go. You got it. Galaxy Press got a lot of stuff. You go over and take a look. There's a lot of material there. I've actually listened to quite a few. And every now and then you get lucky and they send you something special. Like I got Mission Earth on audio. So I've been listening to this. I'm on book 5 right now. It's 10 books, by the way. And this must have took like 6 months to write. But I got to tell you this. I can't remember his name now. Who does a lot of the voice? He's usually at the contest too. He's very famous. Oh, and let's not forget Bart Simpson's there almost every year. The lady who does Bart Simpson's voice is there every year. So
Really?
yeah, she's freaking hilarious, dude. I mean, she is like. I was talking to her, and we were just talking about just random BS, and she just goes off in this. I was like, I was dying. She's killing me. I said, stop it. I said, just stop it. I said, I gotta go back to work, man. So you're gonna interview me? I said, I'll catch up with you before you leave. But just like I said, there's a lot of good people that come in, and you get special people come in and things like that, and other famous authors that drop in and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. Other famous illustrators that drop in. Yeah, you see them, and then they have a lot of Frank Frazzetta's work around too for people to take a look at, and because he was pretty good at in the day. But anyway, we got to go, man. We got to bring on Amir down here. I see he's down here hiding out, all quiet, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm being good. I'm chilling." Yeah, I'm telling you what, you need to chill now because you have no energy left after a week. I can't wait to see all y'all guys. It's going to be a blast. It really is, man. It is. Let me. But Tyler, you were great, and like I said, when we get together in LA, make sure we want to put your website up because we want people to see the artwork. So I'll let you pick what you want to see. We can go through the whole thing if we want because we can. The interviews are as short as long as we want them to be. So don't when we catch up, just keep that in the back of your mind. So if you want to go through like your page, because we can pull it up right here, right in the room with us right here, and go through everything you want to go through, and we can click through it just like you'd be on the website itself. Same thing with the author. So it's an extra benefit to using StreamYard. You can anything that's on the web can be put into chat with us. We'll put into the videos with us. So something to think about. Awesome. I would have done it tonight, but it's so short. I didn't want to take away from just getting to talk with you, but anyway, we'll do that. But anyway, thanks again, Tyler.
Yeah. Let me look forward to seeing all you guys.
It's going to be a blast. Oh, wait, who is this guy over here, man? Man, we got some good looking guys up in this room tonight. Oh, man, shit. Girls, y'all better just calm down for some people start writing to me. You know what? I'm surprised no one's asking anybody if they were married tonight. That's usually a question we get every night. Are they married? I'm like, why would you ask if people are married, man? Leave these people alone. I got other worries on there. Amir, say your name for me because I'm probably saying it wrong.
You're good, Joe. It's Amir. Amir Agoora.
Amir. Okay, see.
Yeah.
Wait, say the last one again because I always like to know names.
Amir Agoora. Yeah.
Agoora. Well, I got that one right then. Okay, Amir Agoora. I just got the first one wrong. Amir, man. So you hear author? You're a writer?
Yeah, I'm a writer.
Oh, you're a writer, huh? Yeah. So I wonder if you know, so we can't. I was picking on Taylor a minute because we can't find out whose artwork's going with whose books yet. We have to wait till the whatchamacallit for that. And I don't want to get into trouble with the boss. She'll become smacking me. So man, first off, title of the story.
It's called Dakota, like Dakota. But
this ought to be interesting. Yeah. So now I know all you can give me is a tidbit because I'm gonna actually read it myself. So, but for everybody else that's listening, we want to make sure they go out and buy it. So we just leave it tiny as you can get without giving anything good away.
Gotcha. Leave them wanting more. It's a story set in 1901. It's about a young Native American boy who gets selected by Teddy Roosevelt to hunt down an ancient creature in the woods. It's about
this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, something I really wanted to write. Just something. With themes that I find important, but also just fun, something that I want to read myself.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's going to be fun. I mean, it's I like stories along like that. There was a story I don't know it's similar last year, but it was where she wrote her family were monster hunters, and she was hiding a monster in a closet.
Nice.
I was like, wait a minute, man. But some of these stories stand out. So I mean, yours already sounds like it is because of the way it's set up. they'll send me this. I'll get volume 40 probably in about a month, and then I'll read the whole volume. And then flying in an airplane, I usually read it again.
Nice.
That way I'm not bored out of my brain on an airplane for 4 hours or 3.5 hours, however long it is. And that way it's also fresh in my mind when I see y'all.
That's
I can go in there and I can get a little bit more in depth, because even then we'll flirt around a little bit more about what's in the book, but we'll only go still so far, because we do want people to go out and buy the book and get all 12 stories or more. Sometimes it's 14 stories, so how many other stories they get out of there. But it's a book 40 anniversary one, man. So you won on the anniversary. That's pretty good. You and Sky both. I mean, and Tyler, that's all an anniversary one. So I know they were being particular picky this year too. I'm not supposed to say that, but
really.
And so how many times? 1, 5, 10, 20, 30? How many times it take to win?
Very lucky. First try. I got it.
Oh man, that's 2 of y'all in here tonight. First tries. Oh man.
That was just dumb luck, and I take it. Sometimes you win the lottery. You got to keep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to take it. I mean, authors don't get number ones as near as many times as illustrators do, but still, man, thumbs up, congratulations. That's tough. It's well, I've talked to people who have won first and all the way up to, I think the longest is 49 attempts or 50 attempts.
Wow.
I find most of them, for authors, it's usually somewhere between like 14 and 20, but they do get some get up in the 30s and stuff like that. And it really has to do with, how busy you are, how much competition there are in a particular year. You never know how many people are going to come in and how many people are going to present that year. And I know they've been increasing steady. I've been with them a while, and I know since I've been with them, they've been increasing quite a lot.
Yeah. And
there's a lot more people coming in from overseas and winning and stuff like this. One of the reasons I joined them in the first place, because we have such a large overseas audience. It just gives more people a shot to get in,
And I love that. I love getting those weird stories from all those places. It's something new. It really keeps the genre exciting.
Well, it helps, it does. It keeps it exciting, and because it's hard for everyday Americans to understand that not everyone thinks like an American does, or a Canadian, or anybody for that matter. So it's just nice to hear fresh stories, different kind of ideas taken from a different point of view. They're just a lot of good stories that come out that way, and I enjoy them. And it's just one of the things I enjoy, because it's different. What's that, Pete? Well, no, I have an international audience. Yeah, I have actually quite a lot. This show has about 600,000 listeners, but my other shows, like News on the Flip Side, has 3.3 million. I think UFO on the Cover is around 4 million now.
It's amazing.
It's UFO on the Cover is 30 years old. It's been around. It's syndicated in like 40 AM and FM stations. It's been around for a while, so it's fairly popular. And these days, since the topic's so popular with the government, it's probably picked up another 1 million listeners just because of that. But and we sometimes bring authors on there if a story kind of fits in with some of the stuff we're talking about. We'll let someone come on and talk about their story or their book, or sometimes someone will come in with a new concept idea that they want to run by a sci-fi type audience. They'll come in and we'll let them do it. But the network's strange. We have all kind of shows on it. We have health shows and how to make your life better, and shows like these and other shows. Matter of fact, Writers of the Future, which is John Goodwin's show, will be actually moving to the opening show for this one. He's doing 1 million listeners over there right now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing good with that show. He's been with us about 2 years, but about 3 years actually, but it still does well. I'm always proud to see him over there. I like to give him trouble though. I'm probably the only person who can talk to John like I do. Nobody. If I get fired for talking to a man like that, I give him trouble all the time.
That's love.
Like, John. But I enjoy having breakfast with him when we're there. It's because we get to talk. We'll talk usually once or twice. We'll talk once a week usually, or maybe once every 2 weeks. But I like getting to see him face to face, have breakfast, because he always eats so healthy, and I'm such a pig. I was like, man, give me some bacon. I need some sausage. He said, "You're gonna die." I said, "I'm already old, John. What the hell, man?"
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Give me a break. How much longer you plan on keeping me on this planet? So I mean, so you got the call from Joni. I mean, you're sitting there, minding your own business. Phone rings and Joni picks up the phone. What do you think? You're like, oh shit, I didn't win, or did it? I mean, what was that? Did you feel the excitement? Because I know some people, it's like almost like an instinct for them. They know, oh my God, I won. They just see the number and they're thinking they won.
I was the exact opposite. I saw author services and I was like, someone's spamming me. Someone was pranking me. I didn't even pick up. And I looked at the voicemail. I was like, that almost looks legitimate. And I called back just to see. My girlfriend's like, please call back. it must be real. I was like, I don't know. And I called back and I was shocked. Really?
Yes. Because Joni, it's so funny because I pick on her when I'm down. I'll be like, "So Joni, tell me about when you talk to these people. When you tell them they're winning." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, the emotional state of the individual when they win." She's like, "I don't know if I can, man. It gets kind of emotional." I said, "I bet you it does." Oh man.
Joni's super kind. She's one of the kindest people I've met. And she goes, the first call is just to tell you you're a finalist. And she tells you, listen, doesn't mean you're going to win. I think it's 7 finalists and 3 are winners.
Yeah.
Right. And so she goes, even if you don't win, don't be down on yourself. It's such an honor just to get this far. And she's right, I think. So it's like, okay, I'm a finalist. I'm okay with being a finalist. It's my first try. I feel so blessed. And then I got the second call saying I won, and I was extra over the moon. Because
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. And you're going to get to meet so many people. And the classes are great. I mean, there's so many famous authors there that have books and movies to their credits and things like that. And there's just a lot of nice people there. It amazes me how far out of the way they go, especially the staff. I mean, they work the hell out of them people. Really, I mean, author services and Galaxy Press. I mean, it's just nonstop. It's the whole time. And really and truly, when I'm talking to them doing after this, they're just pretty much nonstop. They're always traveling somewhere, and then well, there's a lot of conferences and a lot of cons in the country these days. So lots of places to go and put out the word about Writers of the Future. And then they just John was in Europe just recently. He just came back from Germany and the UK, promoting people like y'all. Book 40 winners were out by then, so he was over there promoting everybody. What is it, Dean? You have to submit at galaxypress.com. That's all you got to do. Yeah. You'll either win or you won't. Little piece of advice: read the rules about what you can write about. I always tell people PG-13.
Yeah,
that's what I tell them. PG-13 is the best. Well, because they want clean stories that are fun and entertaining. And believe it or not, they've got 40 books full of them now, and there's no cursing. There's a lot of nothing you would see in regular stuff on TV these days, and the books will do well. People like them. There's a lot of great stories, a lot of fun stories. Yeah, because you can have a fun story without having to use the F word or have sex every 5 minutes. Now, I'm not anti. I mean, sure, you make all the movies you want like that, but I mean, really and truly, there needs to be some stuff that people can enjoy, and the movie that came out of it would be, what do you mean, like the Barbie movie? I never watched the Barbie movie. Well, I mean, what would look at me? What would make you think I watched the Barbie movie? I mean, really? It's not that I ain't got a girly side to myself. I do, but Barbie, no. Yeah. Now, you know what I used to do at my sister's bars? Used to cut the fingers off them when we were kids.
No.
Because if you had a sister like mine, you'd understand. She was a demon, man. I mean, she was a demon.
Yeah.
I asked my mom, I said, well, did you have an affair with Satan or something? I mean, this child is a demon. My dad just laughed his ass off. I said, she's still a demon even today, man. I'm like, she's a grown woman. I'm like,
Checks
I'm
out.
just not a Barbie fan. I might go see some other stuff. What is that, Denise? Denise, where you writing in from? Your text has an accent. Believe it or not, you can. Yes, you can have an accent in text. I know it's weird, isn't it? Let me think. Those 2 words make me think Boston or New York. Boston. See, I knew it.
Nice.
So what are you doing, Miss Bostonian? What do you want? No, we're not talking politics. So what do you want? No, we're not talking politics. What do you want? That's Friday night. Yes, 9 to midnight. You can come in and cuss all the politicians you want, but not here. So what do you want? So see, you're not getting away with that. No, I'm not going to do that. What do you want? I don't care who's writing a book. He's not a legit author, and he may be a whatever one day, but he's not an author. You mean submit to here to be on an author? Submit to here to be on the show? ICAR@cox.net. ICAR@cox.net. Write to me there. Don't expect an answer for probably a week or 2 because I'm really busy and I get a lot of emails. Yes, I usually have somebody filter through most of the junk, but so always, where it says subject, always put in there, attention, Joe. Looking for author, looking to be on Author's Quill. That's all you got to do. And if you're good, I'll refer you to 2 of the other shows that do authors on the network. Yes. Well, we have hosts. Some of our hosts are actually authors. Yes, we have PhDs in the network, bachelors in the network, authors in the network, just a little bit of everything. What do you mean colors? We have every colors in a rainbow on here, including a rainbow. Yes, no, man. This is the people. This is the 21st century. This is radio for the world. I mean, none of the hosts even live in the same town I do. My manager, who runs the station, lives in freaking Niagara Falls, Canada. Two of my hosts live in the UK. I got one lives in Australia. They're all over the United States. A couple down south in South America and all. Yeah, because it's a different world. You can do that now, and we can talk to you wherever you are. Janice is asking, because Goofy here won't ask a question. Janice is asking, what do you really feel like you're going to get out of this while you're at Galaxy Press, and do you have at Writers of the Future, and do you have any books coming out anytime soon?
Oh, I guess I'll answer that backwards. One is I come from television. That's where I started when I got out of college. I work at kids television, which I love.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I went to Sesame Workshop. It's from Sesame Street, and then so I think it's my Paw Patrol. I wrote for Paw Patrol and Nickelodeon. So that's coming out soon. So if you have kids, go watch that. And I'm at NBC Universal writing for a couple of shows over there, kid shows. So I've enjoyed that. And then during the strike, I wrote prose work. So because you can do that, just can't write scripts, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I wrote this piece, and I had a lot of fun with it. No network telling me what to write, so I wrote an adult piece that I really enjoyed. And so I'm hoping to get more, prose, meet people who I love. I fell in love with science fiction through my father. He used to read the stories in the audiobook driving to work and back, and he'd tell them to me.
Yeah,
so I've always been a fan. So I'm hoping to meet the people my father read to me so many years ago and learn how to write.
And you'll get to meet some of them. Yeah. Speaking of that, 40 will be an audiobook. 39 is an audiobook.
Yeah.
Because people like me bitch. John, I bitch at John all the time because, first off, I have to commute. I own the radio station, but I own a construction company in New Orleans. Well, these days I live on the Gulf Coast, so it's about an hour, 20-minute commute. Right. Well, man, I can listen to quite a lot of audio. Like sometimes I'm listening to Mission Earth, or sometimes I'm listening to stuff maybe from people like y'all, or other stuff that people send me, or even research. But it gives me that time to do it. And then a lot of times when I'm in, like later on today, I'll be doing archives. Well, I'll put something on while I'm doing the archive. So, I can listen while I'm typing and working, and so I get to hear a lot of stuff. And it's better for me because if I can't take the time to read that much stuff. I just don't have the time. Yeah. It's not going to fit into my life, and it's just going to make things aggravating. So this way, I can listen, enjoy. I have a good imagination, and to be honest with you, I've got to say, the 3 audiobooks of theirs that I have listened to, the sound effects are freaking fabulous. Mission Earth is ridiculous with the sound effects they have in there, and I can't remember the guy who's playing the protagonist, but he was one of the keynote speakers last year. He's a very famous guy who does a lot of different voices, but I can't, for some reason, I just can't think of his name. But he was a lot of fun, and I interviewed him just recently, about 6 months ago, and he's a blast to talk to. So for me, I can listen and enjoy, and when I do an interview, I can say, well, somebody said, well, did you read my book? No, I didn't, but I actually listened to your book. And there are a lot of them you can get on Amazon now converted into audio, but it just depends. No, whoever just wrote that, listen to me. I'm not taking any story and putting it through Microsoft Sam or Samantha. I'm not going to hear, well, this was the story to that. No, I'm not. I will blow something up. Okay. No, it's not going to. Maybe 20 years ago when it came out, there was no other thing. No.
Yeah.
What do you mean read online? I hate to read. I had to read 3 stories to my damn software on this computer so it understood my damn coon-ass accent. It was like, I'd tell it stuff and I didn't want to go do something. I was like, no, that's not what it says. It's just aggravating. I felt like Ozzy Osbourne there for a minute. No, my car's ignorant. No, my car and I fight all the time. Right now I'm driving my other cars in the shop, so I'm driving a Chrysler 300S. I'm a preferred customer at Avis, so they upgraded me to it. And I'm like, really? That's just a gas guzzling, you know what? And she's like, I said, I just wanted the new Camry. And she's like, no, you're preferred. We're giving you this one. I said, well, next time I'll get some stupid little Kia and you'll give me the Camry. And she said, we'll give you a pickup truck. I'm like, no, we're good. Just leave me alone. Now, I do like the S because it's got the full moonroof. That's kind of nice. But yes. Jamie, I think I already liked the title of his story. So I'll know when I read it. Oh no! Look, I have no qualms. I'll be like, if I read it, I'm like, well, I'll be like, what the hell was this?
Please do.
And, it's No, it'll be a lot of fun because next time I'll talk to him, I'll be able to talk to him about the story itself, and we'll be able to talk to. I mean, some of the story we'll be able to talk about on air.
Yeah.
Well, because you lazy people want you to buy the damn book, and y'all know I'm going to give away probably 200 of them. I do every year. So, yeah, but I want you to read them. I want you to know it's in there. Look, like, well, it's not there behind me, but there's some great stories in there. Oh, Deline, you're talking about this book. No, this is not a Writers of the Future book. No, that is actually a friend of mine, Gary Hasling, wrote that book. It's called Non-Human. It's about the Rendlesham Forest event in the UK. Yeah, when the base went on alert for 4 days and all these colonels and people said they saw things landing in the woods. That's what that's about, yes. I'm actually in the movie Capel Green. I did the voice stress analysis on the main witnesses.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, yes. People have degrees in voice stress analysis, facial recognition, body language, even text. Yeah, I not because of alien research. No, you know what? So I used to work for a company a long time ago, and I went in one day. They brought me in to be a training manager. They wanted me to be their training manager for their store. Offered me a good job. Well, while I was sitting there was a VHS with a videotape in it. So I plugged it in. I'm watching while this guy's doing whatever he's doing. So I had it on fast forward. I watched about 4 hours of it, like 10 minutes. He comes back in. I said, I got to show you something. I said, did you find any thieves on this tape? He's not watching front and back. There's nobody on there. I was like, really? I said, come here. So I fast forward. Oh, there's one. Fast forward. There's. He's like, Jesus Christ. And I'm doing this at fast forward. And he said, dude, we might need you for a different job. He's like, you know what? Let me talk to our executive VP. He said, I think I want to bring you on for a different job. And sure enough, they sent me to school for all of that because they would bring in managers. Because I always used to tell companies, especially chain stores or convenience store companies, I said, your biggest thieves are always going to be your managers. If your inventory is out of control, it's not your help, it's your managers, because they have the opportunity to take the big money. So, and it was just funny as how that worked out. But so I had to go to school for all of that. So I learned all of that lovely stuff, which I try when I'm in a conversation with people, like if I'm out to dinner with a group or something, I try not to even look at them when I'm talking to them. I don't want to know. Because they'll do things that I'm thinking, oh, this SOB's got a whole different thing on their mind. And so it's just one of them things. And usually when I do interviews, I don't tell people about it because it makes them nervous. But it's a lot of fun. I also know how to hypnotize you.
Wow.
Yes, I can put you through hypnosis. Got a bachelor's in advanced electronics and avionics. Did life just something else? See, I like what you do, though. See, I'm in TV and media, but I like what you're doing. Writing, it takes a special something to write anything for kids. I mean, people always think they can write for kids. I mean, really and truly, everybody thinks they can write a kid's book, which is absolute BS. But it takes a special mind to be able to pull yourself down, put it out there where you know it's going to be enjoyed by whatever group you're looking for, whatever your target audience is,
right?
And hit that target audience and feel good about it, because I mean it is kids, so you don't want to blow their brains out or nothing. So it's
Yes.
No, Jimmy, no. I mean, I had some friends work for Sesame Street. They were pretty strict over there for a long time. I know they will only let one guy write things for Big Bird for forever because somebody went off and with some words. They weren't bad words. They were just double meaning words, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then another friend of mine over there, he said, well, he left Disney and went to PBS actually, because he said Disney was asking him to write what he called woke stories. But he said, Joe, woke's not bad. He said, but these were just ridiculous. He said this was just, he said, I couldn't do this. He said, this was just writing. He felt like he was writing propaganda. And this was for kids. This wasn't for adults. So he said, I couldn't. He said, he just couldn't do it. But, other than somebody saying PBS and Sesame Street and them could be strict, other than that, I always heard it was a good job.
Yeah.
And then I met some people that worked for Mr. Rogers way back in the day. I met him just recently. Yeah. And they said they were so strict on that set. He said, you couldn't even fart on the set, man. You get fired. He said they were just so strict. And, well, actually, Jenny, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about the guy. I think he had 3 sons or something. No, I've never heard.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say nothing bad about him. He might want to be one of the few people that actually managed through TV with a reputation intact. But still, I mean, what was it? So one day you just said, okay, I can write kiddie stuff, or were you working for a company and they said, hey, we want you to write this, or Because it's hard to see how do you get your brain to say, okay, this is what I want to write, or this is what I have to write. Can I actually write this?
Yeah. I was teaching at the university. I was a student, so I was tutoring other students, and I was tutoring in the prison system, former convicts, and helping them learn to
Well,
read.
man, you go, buddy.
I loved it, and they're I'll
Yeah.
tell you, they're the most down to earth and willing to learn students because they're really trying to get their lives back together. And I had a blast doing it, and it was really rewarding. And then helping them get their voice, I wanted to write myself because I've always loved literature, loved to read. As an English major, poli-sci. So I got Final Draft, that screenwriting software, and I applied to the first thing I saw, and that was Sesame. I spent time learning the software, trying to write a script. And again, I got lucky. The first time I went in and they selected me. That was the day after I graduated. So I went right to Sesame, spent my time.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
They taught me everything. They're really nice. At least when I was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, they were everybody always said they were nice. They were just kind of strict on I guess it would be protocols on what you could write.
Yeah.
Or they just knew what they wanted the stories to be, or not so much what the stories were going to turn out as, but the overall content of the story. We don't want to see a big bird walking down the street with a bottle of bourbon, or the Grinch hanging out, with a fifth in each hand or something like that.
Makes sense.
What do you mean? Who don't watch Sesame? You mean PBS? Who do you mean? Who don't watch PBS? PBS is public broadcaster, yes, but what are you talking about? Nobody watches them. I would have to disagree with that. I really would. What was them stupid Teletubbies? Them things went ballistic. Big Bird still ballistic. The Grinch is still ballistic. I love that. Pretty much every kid, even the Z-Geners, know what the hell Sesame Street is. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. And there's a lot of other things on PBS in there. Now, granted, people might not be watching that the British show where they're reading the book to you and stuff like that. But but what do you mean, Doctor Who? That's where I learned to watch Doctor Who. I'm going to kick you in the ass. Is what's going to happen next. I can see. I know how to boot you from here, so you better behave yourself. But without PBS, I would have never known about Doctor Who. Yes, I am a geek. I'm both a nerd geek because I like technology, and I'm other geek because I like games and sci-fi. I love any good sci-fi. Yes, I do.
Same.
If it's good, I want to. Well, we can go over a couple minutes. Just recently, I was rewatching Altered Carbon, which is okay, people. Altered Carbon is definitely adult sci-fi. I'm not even going to tell you to let your kids watch this because there's so much nudity. It's ridiculous, but the theme of the story and the technology of the story is very solid, and it's not that far. It's not in the distant future. It's in the relatively near 200-year future from us. Same thing with The Expanse. Expanse would actually be probably within the next 200 years as well. Expanse was how we conduct ourselves in politics, which is how we do it today. And exploration of the galaxy of the solar system will probably go pretty much along the lines that Expanse laid it out as. So it's good sci-fi. It's fun to watch. It's not 25 episodes a year, so you're not going to get 150 episodes out of 6 years. You're going to get maybe 60. Look, don't ask me. I don't know why we went from. So when Doctor Who first aired, it did 50 episodes a year, and then it went to 25 episodes a year. Now it's 10 episodes every 2 years. Yes, don't ask me. And what pisses me off about this is the new Doctor, who looks like he might be a decent Doctor. We get like a spit in the face from him, and then we're not going to see him until 2025.
Wow.
Really? I'm like, come on, man! You should have gave us at least 1 or 2 episodes somewhere in between. I mean, you teased us with David Tennant. I know, man. I'm. What do you mean, Discovery? No, we can't get into that tonight. We got to go because we got another guest coming on. But no, Discovery. Discovery is good sci-fi. It's just not good Star Trek. It's hard to explain, but unfortunately for Discovery, it broke all kind of rules. One, that's not how the Klingon War went. Not even close. There's lots of other things they did on there they can't. So it got so bad they beat up Chandra so bad they had to send him to the future. Well, it was either that or cancel. I mean, they didn't have a choice. So many people, sci fans, so many Star Trek fans were bitching. It was either do that or not. And the future thing would have been cool, but they must have forgot that the Doctor's mobile emitter came from the same century that they sent the Discovery. So that really just made for more confusion, man. I was like, does any, you know, you should, if you're going to write for Star Trek, you should have to go around and maybe watch several different types of Star Trek before you go write for their asses. No, what's her name? Emperor Jojo. I loved her. I thought the lady who did that job played a fabulous captain and a fabulous evil bitch. I really do. I think she did a great job. What's her name? Who plays the what's her name? I can't think of the one who plays the captain now. She's actually a good actress. It's just this show is not really designed for what they're trying to do. It's we'll see. This is their last season this year, so we'll see what happens. Maybe they rewrote it or something. Everybody on the show actually is not decent, not bad actors. It's just the show is first off kind of disjointed. Maybe you know what? Maybe we should have you go over there and write for their asses. That's what I'm thinking, man.
I'll take it. I love to.
Yeah, and say, look, this guy can write for Sesame. He's done one over at Writers of the Future. Y'all need to let him come write some episodes of Discovery.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's the next Star Trek coming out. I do heard there's one coming out. I also heard there's a new Star Wars movie coming out. But sometimes I get lucky because I have friends in the business and I get things ahead of time. Yeah, and sometimes I'm like the rest of y'all. I got to wait just like everybody else does. You're talking about Picard. Picard was okay. I'm not going there. I like the last. Everybody had to like the last because it was just basically generations got old. Is all it was. I did hear that they're trying to give Jerry Doyle, is her name, 7 of 9 series. So we'll see. I don't know. Can she support a series or not? We'll have to wait and see. See you, Mark. There you go, Amir. You got a job right there.
If you got a good enough writer, she can support it.
Plus, you know, watching her walk around all day long, it can't be bad for your blood.
Yeah.
It's got to be good for your heart, man.
Don't tell my girlfriend.
What do you mean you don't know who 7 of 9 is? Have you ever watched Star Trek? 7 of 9. I felt for this woman. Okay, first time I seen her, I was like, what did they do? Paint her clothes on? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, what the hell? No, Gene Roddenberry always liked you know what's, but
That's very
apparently Majel did too, because I noticed on what was it? What's the one with Dylan Hunt? Andromeda. The girls are kind of built the same way. Yes. I don't know. What do you mean, Andromeda? Okay, Andromeda was Hercules in space. It's just what it was. It's not horrible or anything like that. No, it's not. It's okay. I mean, it's all right. And then one more. Okay, one more before we go. What was it? Oh, you're talking about Farscape. Yes, Farscape was weird. I mean, it had its moments. It had not had its moments. That's just, I don't know what to say. I did like the blue girl. I like Cheyenne. That was one of my favorite characters. No, John went to Stargate, didn't he? Didn't he end up playing the last 2 years of Stargate, I think? Yeah, because what's his face retired? MacGyver retired, and the guy who played on Farscape got his job. Him and the woman that played there moved over. Yes. And you know what? I hardly get to even watch any sci-fi, and I know that. We gotta go. No, you just heard a man say you got a girlfriend. Jessica, shame on you. Oh my God. She goes, oh, he's good looking and he's got a job.
I appreciate that, Jessica.
I'm like, give me a break, man. And he's got a job. I'm like, oh Lord, man, y'all been in this economy too long. Life's gonna change. Just leave it alone, people.
Take a shot.
But we got. Well, no. Who are you talking about? Oh no, I know who. I can't. Give me a second. I'm getting old. My brain don't work as fast as it used to. Oh, why can't I remember? No, that's not who it was either. Well, if it ever comes to me, I'll hit you up with a text and let you know. It's well, no, there's just so much sci-fi out there. No, I am not watching 1999 again. Not ever. Not ever. Not ever. I watched it one time in my life, and I think I was like 14 or something. I'm not watching it again. I'm sorry. It's sci-fi, and it should have been good sci-fi, but no, somebody blew up the moon, and away the moon went. So, and as far as Galactica goes, it just depends which Galactica you like. There's 3 Galacticas. Pick one. Oh, there's going to be a new one too, because everybody. So a lot of people liked the last one, but a lot of people didn't because there was no comedy in it. So you can't have good sci. It doesn't matter how bad sci-fi. I mean, how whatever's going on in sci-fi, you have to comedy. The world could come in. Somebody's going to crack a joke as the elevator is plummeting to its death. You can't be completely serious all the time because it's just not sci-fi then. What do you mean? If I knew I was going to die, I'd be probably cracking jokes all over the damn place. It's part of the business, man. I mean, so where Galactica should have been better than it was, they just went, and Starbucks went a little crazy there for a while too. I don't. You mean because she was a woman? That didn't. She could have still played the personality of the other Starbuck even as a woman. They just chose not to go there. Well, because the original Starbuck was what we would call in today's world a dog. Yes, he was a womanizer. There you go. How you like that? That's his character. That's who he was. The new Starbuck was just insane. Yes. And everybody ended up being a Cylon. No, really. Everybody ended up being a Cylon except for the captain. Everybody ended up being a Cylon. Don't ask me. Stuff like that happens and it goes along. Pete, no, move that. Who's that? Stephanie says, why don't you write, what do you mean crossover? I don't know what you're talking about crossover. Oh, you mean sci-fi fantasy. Okay, yeah, well, I'm sure he could write I have no doubt that he could write sci-fi fantasy.
On TV?
For anything. She was talking about book, TV, anything.
Yeah.
I guess all books can be made into television or movies. It just depends on how big they are and what.
Yeah, what kind of story you're telling?
Oh no, Christopher. So Babylon 5 was actually written before all 5. It was written as a book. There's actually, I think it was written as more than one, but it was written and then the story was put on television. Yes, Babylon 5 was good for one reason. It was the way the humans will be in space. Yes, jump gates or other types of transmission. Everybody fighting an argument with everybody, politics bullshit going. That's us. That's unless something changes soon. That's going to be us in space. So you mean special effects? They hold up 70-30 maybe. It's getting old now. It was in the 90s when it came out. It's got its good points. It's got its bad points. It's like any sci-fi. So go watch it and tell me what you think. I haven't seen it in probably a decade, to be honest with you. No, it's on one of my. Matter of fact, somebody bought me the box CD set. It's somewhere in the house. Yeah, I'll probably end up giving it away this Christmas, but well, I got it in other ways. I think it's digitally in one of the computers as well. So, and people collect CDs. I don't. Do I even have a CD player in the house? Yeah, I got one. That's it. I got a Blu-ray in the house, is what it is. No, we're waiting on. I think who's next with us is. I think it's Stephen Bentley is next with us from Portland, Oregon. I'm gonna hit him again. I always hit everybody twice, be on the safe side. What are you talking about? What are you cooking? Wait, don't tease me and sending me pictures of food. That's like sending me pictures of porn, man. What the hell? See how fans are? They just mistreat you, man. Just treat you.
Out of love.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm telling you. You want to buy me a pizza? I've had many people buy me pizzas over here. I've had people buy me other food over here. Yeah, I had one show up in the middle of a show one time. A lady bought me she sent me a steak dinner right in the middle of the show.
Nice.
From the local steak place up here. And I was like, I had somebody go answer the door and it comes in, beautiful steak. I was like, damn, girl, you couldn't have waited just 40 more minutes. I'd have been off the air. So then I had to sniff the thing the whole time while I was on the radio. I was like, man, I'm going to cut this show short.
Torture. Yeah.
It was. And Glenda, there are actually still nice people in the world, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. There is. Well, as he will find out while he's out in L.A., Amar will find out all kind of people out there are nice and weird and strange. And oh, well, that's true. Don't walk around L.A. if you don't plan on getting high. Jesus, man. So we left last year. We went to Lowe's, so we left the Lowe's hotel to go over to Author Services, take some pictures. There's like 9 of us, 5 of the judges, and 4 judges, myself, and 4 winners. Yeah, we left the Lowe's hotel. We get outside. There's 3 guys out there just blowing the whole neighborhood up. So I'm like, come on, dude, move. So I'm getting high. I haven't even walked 5 feet yet. So we walked down to the Wise. We hit the corner. There's a whole crowd of people down there smoking. You had to squeeze your way through. Then you go a little further, and there's like these 5 guys that with blunts about this big around, all just, and you know they see these old guys go by, so they're flowing at them and stuff. I'm like, Jesus. By the time we got to Hollywood Boulevard, I was already high. I knew they, I've smoked before, so I knew these poor guys behind me were lit. By the time we got to Author Services, it was a Saturday night, and everybody was just smoking it up, you know, the whole up and down the whole street. No, people, it's recreational. Who said that? No, it's recreational in California. And you know what's funny about California is they won't let you smoke in a hotel, but you can smoke that damn weed now all you want. Oh yeah, I was on the 6th floor. Poor John come down to get me one day. I think he was high before he got to the elevator. I kept my room shut. I was like, Jesus, people. I'm telling you, the whole 6th floor was just smoking it up, man. It was insanity. It was. Oh, I don't know. No, not that. See, down here it was like for this year for Mardi Gras, it was like that because it's legal now in Louisiana now. So we stopped off in a club, and the guy said, "No smoking in the club." And then everybody pulls out a vape, and the whole place is high as hell in 5 minutes. No, I don't want to get the marijuana. It's just what my construction company, my insurance is. So if any of my guys or myself would get hurt, we have to take a drug test. And if we get drugs in our system, they won't cover us. Yeah. No, I'm not anti any drug. No, I don't. Well, some drugs I am, but pot, no, I could give a shit. Let's just smoke all the pot you want. If I didn't have to have a drug test, I'd smoke it. It's just, no, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Unless, let's not be like them idiots in Colorado who eat a bunch of edibles and fall asleep at the stop sign and shit. Okay, no, let's not even go there. But more, I got to bring Steve in. Let's grab Steve right here before we let you get out of here. We'll drag Mr. Steve Bentley. Hey, Steve, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Man, I like that last name. You got one of them cars parked out of the driveway, man, or something?
Yeah, definitely. If only.
That's what I'm saying, man. I got 2 friends that own them. I'm always like, one of them got one of the old ones. It's I don't know what it is. It's got the little small short front seat with the wooden dash on it. I don't even know how you get a driver in there, and then the rest of it's just, you know, playground for the rich people. But anyway, welcome to the show. Mr. Steve Bentley is with us. He is one of the winners at Writers of the Future. Author, right?
Illustrator.
Oh, Illustrator. Oh, he did 2 and 2 tonight. Damn, I got to watch him. He's getting slick on you tonight. Oh, Illustrator. So Illustrator is interesting because for a lot of different reasons. But so let me first win. I mean, how many times did it take you to win? That's what I'm trying to say.
I think I entered about a decade ago and got an honorable mention. This was my 2nd time.
Oh, see, it's interesting for me because the illustrators tend to win faster than the authors do. Authors usually take a little longer to win anywhere. Well, I've seen one go as far as 50 attempts. Well, people, it's not 50 weeks. It's 4 times a year you can submit.
Yeah.
And some people submit religiously 4 times a year. It really, I don't think the people who are listening tonight understand that there's actually some pretty fierce competition here. It's not like, 12 people entered and that's the 12 people that got it. It's more like 1,200 people entered and these 12 people got it. Actually, I think it's more than that, to be honest with you. So, and you're competing with overseas now. It's
yeah.
So it's a lot of overseas people coming in. So what? First off, let me ask you this. I always ask this question: what was it that made you think you could draw or write? Or
it's something I've always done. When I was a kid, I used to draw on the walls. Oh my dad.
Yeah, I hated kids like you. I still do because in a construction company, covered that shit up's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, my dad used to. He started getting me paper and stuff. So
Dad.
I've always done. So.
Dad got smart. Here, son. Let's try to get this off the wall and onto the paper.
Yeah.
So I mean, but kind of, I mean, do you have a particular thing? So let's go to mediums first. Do you have a particular type medium you like to use?
I use traditional stuff, basically, paint, pencils, ink, that sort of stuff. But I do a little bit of digital stuff. But I kind of like the feel of the paper and to have something physical done at the end of it. Well,
because some of my friends get mad when I say this, but I have found a lot of the just going to get me in so much trouble. A lot of the better artists tend to use traditional stuff, and I'm not even talking. This isn't an age thing. This is just a thing. I've talked to now. Well, from Writers of the Future, I've talked to 12, 24, 36. I've talked to 60 illustrators plus all the judges, and besides that, I'm probably talking to, because we do so much stuff on the network, probably another 60 or 70. So what I found is over the years is that you know, a person that can command certain skills, I guess, in the older version end up being better artists. Digital's not as hard. I mean, even I can draw a stickman in digital. I can't draw it on paper, don't mind you, but I can draw it in digital. Chris, I'm serious, dude. I can't draw a stickman. I look. You know that game Hangman? We don't even go there with that shit. I just have no skills at all. It's a sad state of affairs, but because I find I guess maybe it's a tactile sense that allows y'all to be. Oh, there goes my alarm system. Maybe it's a tactile sense that allows y'all to really feel it better. I mean, a computer is kind of disconnected from the art, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think I feel a bit like that. The other thing about it is, I think for me is that it's very unforgiving. If I make a mistake,
you made a mistake,
Control Alt Delete it. I have to think of a creative way of fixing it or incorporating it into what I'm already working on. So it tends to make me a lot more careful, I think, when I do things, because maybe I'm going to get into trouble now for saying this with the digital people, but I think the thing of it is because it's so unforgiving that I tend to think a lot more about something.
No, I agree.
Started. So I don't know.
And I agree. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to say which 3 judges they are, but I know 3 judges that are very famous and very wealthy that would actually agree with what you just said. So
cool.
No, people, I can't give out names because I don't want to start any trouble with anybody. Well, no, because digital art's on it. And so like with some of them, they'll start with a sketch and then they may move it into digital and turn it into something. And then they may move into oil and do it as an oil. So that's a little bit different because they did start with a handwritten or with a sketch, and then they fix it up a little in digital, and then whatever medium they're really going to put it on, which a lot of times is canvas, they put it on canvas. Which I've been amazed at how many of the judges do canvas work. I actually, for a long time, I thought it was like a dying thing in the United States, and then when I got involved with this group, I realized, oh no, it's not. It's alive and well, and I have seen some beautiful oils. From this particular group, not just from the judges, but even from some of the winners. I've been quite impressed with what I've seen. And I know, there's people in my family that actually have talent that can do it. Not me. I'm not one of them, by the way, but they can. And I don't know what it is for me, but I have a thing for oil. It's not personally to draw because I couldn't paint worth a crap. I mean, my company, if you want me to paint your house, yeah, that's fine. But you want me to paint your mural, no, you're going to have to hire somebody else to do that shit. And but that is something I did notice. And I don't know if it takes a special skill for this. Maybe you can tell me.
Yeah, I've been trying with oil paints recently. I've not really. I've been more like watercolors and acrylics. Oil paints is a very different medium because it's it takes so long to dry and you can push it around quite a bit. And there's things about it I really like, but I've really only just started dabbling in it. I don't know. I'm trying to decide whether I like it enough to carry on trying with it, to be quite honest. I know it's very popular right now.
It is popular right now. And I don't know how long it's going to last, but it is. And you're right. It is very giving. So you do have a lot more that you can move around. And believe it or not, you can mix the oil color on the canvas.
Oh, yeah.
If you make a boo-boo, you can fix it that way. So what do you mean, Jack? How do I know that? I know that because I own a construction company that does oil for only in big buildings. We use latex for everything else, but oil we use on particular type of jobs. But we have people who come in and do murals for us now. So a lot of times they'll use they'll put it in like with some type of pastel. I don't know what it is, like a chalk, and then they'll come back most of the time now with a latex, not an oil, and mainly because so many companies now don't want a whole 25 by 25 wall mural painted in oil because it's an insurance thing. Yeah, Christopher, because it's oil and oil catches on fire. Latex doesn't. Believe it or not, in a big building, that comes down to your insurance, unfortunately. It's one of them things. And in some ways, for me, I've noticed, latex gives you some advantages over oil, but then there's some things with oil that latex just can't do.
Yeah.
So it's a tough thing. And I'm not an artist, so at least I can only have to go by whatever venue I'm painting in. So for someone like you, it's got to be a whole different thing to look at.
Well, I'm more of a watercolor based stuff that I've been doing, and it's just what I'm used to. I mean, I feel like I need to try and adapt a little bit and try some more trial paints, but it's an expensive undertaking for a start.
Oh, I know. It's not cheap. I know a couple people gotten into it recently, and it's them the little tubes of paint ain't exactly cheap.
They're not cheap.
And believe it or not, people, they don't spread as far as you think they do either. Big canvas can take up a lot of stuff. But you know, now as you tell me about the pastel colors, I have seen. Now I live down on the Gulf Coast. I was born and raised in New Orleans, and I live. My business is in New Orleans. It's a lot of the station is too, but my house is up in on the Gulf Coast, and you see a lot of pastel or a lot of watercolor paintings down here, and really well done ones. So there might be a festival or something out there. You see these, I guess, because a lot of the homes down here, especially along the beach, are colored in those type colors, like a pink or a green or a bit lighter pastel type colors. So I see the artwork down here reflects that, or maybe the homes reflect artwork. To be honest, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one or the other. But I'm telling you what, man, you could probably sell some paintings down here. This is stuff they eat up like candy.
Yeah.
Where you at? Where you up north? Where you at?
I live in Portland right now. I'm actually
you in hell's where you're at. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm way out of the way. Yeah.
No, actually, Portland's a great town. Seattle used to be a great town. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I've got friends up in Portland. One of my friends who moved as a doctor, and she always tells me she's a candle. I'm like, what do you mean you're a candle? She said, Joe, there ain't no black people up here. I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, I'm telling you, Joe, I'm the doctor up here. And she said, I'm walking through downtown Portland. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, is anybody any other different color? She cracks me up with this stuff. She's actually from, she was raised in, she was born in Africa, raised partly in Europe, in London, actually. Moved out to Phoenix where her family was, and then decided she wanted to be a nurse and moved to New York all on her little own. And now she's a full-age PhD doctor in Portland. She said she loves it out there. She said it's great. She said she said people are friendly. It's nice. It's clean. She said she thought about moving to Seattle until all that Occupy Seattle shit happened, and she didn't want to go up there anymore. See, now I did see a guy who did the Occupy Wall Street. He did it in a pastel, and then he did it in an oil. But somehow he made them both look really kind of deepest oranges. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It just looked nasty. That's the way I can say it. It was just a nasty overall. So you got any particular things you like to paint about, or animals, people, places?
I do the fantasy stuff pretty much exclusively. I mean, I grew up on comic books and Frank Frazetta and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Frank Frazetta is great.
I've just been enamored of it ever since I can remember. So.
Matter of fact, here, let me show you something. Quick, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. That's a Frank Frazetta right there.
Yeah,
that one in the corner. Yeah, that's a Frank Frazetta. That's signed and numbered, baby, too.
Nice.
That's a very rare one back there. I got. There's another one where he did the line I'm trying to give, but Sarah won't give it to me for a good price. I hear nothing but trouble about it. I'm like, come on, Sarah, just. You love me, Sarah. Give it to me. I'm not giving you that. I'm like, come on, baby. You put me to work every time I come up here. She's like, no. I'm like, damn, she's tight.
Well, I don't blame her.
No, I don't either, because they are. I had done a show with John about Frank Frazetta a while back, and we had a lot of his artwork. We were just, posting to it. The man he was talented. Is the only way you can say it. Yeah. He just had a lot of good stuff to it. He seemed to do a lot of different. He looked like he did a lot of different venues in the way he painted. I know he's done some oil. I know he's done other stuff, and it's just he just seemed to enjoy it. I think that's really for him what it came down to. He was already successful, and I think the rest of his work he just enjoyed doing.
Yeah, and he was a talented cartoonist and painter. I mean, the guy was amazing. So.
Yeah, and
Bernie Wrightson was a guy I used to.
Yeah, was it last year before they were doing an anniversary for him, and somebody said something to me. I said, "Well, he's the Dean Martin of artists." And it's like, well, I said he got that Dean Martin look about him, and he does. He kind of even looks like the guy. I said he got that same kind of swag. He's always wearing a nice suit. I mean, he's just it's just who he is, and I've heard him talk a few times. He definitely had that kind of swagger. And he was very extremely talented gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, he's passed now, Christopher. No, he's gone. But it wasn't even that long ago, I don't think. But
no, it's been a couple
it's but no, he was talented. Yeah. Well, not everybody's gonna know who he is. No, I mean it's not. I don't think most Z generals will know. Even when they're looking at his work, like if they had seen Battlefield Earth, that's what that is behind me that I was showing Steve. That's a Battlefield Earth poster. And so, unless they've seen it, they might not even know he had done that kind of work. No, I really wasn't even that familiar with him until about 10 years ago. Was introduced to me by one of my friends of mine who's an illustrator. He said, "Oh no, Joe, you need to go look at all of this." And then when I met the group from Writers of the Future, they introduced me to him again. So I mean, his art. It's just fun to watch. So where you headed, man? I mean, what you want to do? I mean, you got any particular things you just want to go paint or?
I mean, I'd like to do more freelance work than I do. So, I think this is like a fantastic opportunity for me. I mean, it's literally like a once in a lifetime thing to happen. And I keep expecting somebody to turn around and say, "I'm sorry, we mean the other Steve Bentley. We made a horrible mistake."
No, they don't make mistakes over there. They're really good. I mean, you're gonna really enjoy the. I don't know how many of the judges you're familiar with or not in the illustrators, but they've got some really talented people over there. And I mean, Echo Turnick is the coordinating judge, but she's gifted. And matter of fact, her and I did a couple of videos because she had done a lot of oils. I called the Naughty Girl series, and so we were going through her oils. And she was the first one of the judges to put a virtual shop up. So she showed everybody how she did it, and she'll bring it to the class and let them see. So you can walk through her shop. Wait, I think she's in Portland. Or isn't she in San? I don't know. She's somewhere up there, so I have to go check to be sure. But
I think she's in San Francisco.
Was she moved back? No, because last time she said she was way the hell up there. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't keep that close to track them, so I don't want to say for sure. But for some reason, anyway, we'll find out when we get there anyhow. But she really put a nice shop together, and she's married to Lazarus Black, and he was actually a winner 2 years ago. He actually won the contest, and as a writer, not as an illustrator, and he's an illustrator by trade. So they've got a great shop up there. They do a lot of artwork. They have a lot of stuff going on. They're a very talented group of people. Christopher, you're talking about Dan Santes. Yeah, Dan Santes. I always want to call him DeSantis, but he's nice. He's tough, but he's nice. Echo's tough, but she's nice. Tom is just really good at what he does. Tom's a commercial artist, so he's a good person to talk to. He does like for the NFL and the NBA and places like that, and so he's got an idea of what it really takes to be involved with that kind of art. Echo she does like commercial stuff for like tea companies and food companies and things like that. So yeah, believe it or not, people, everything you see on television, there's an illustrator behind. Yes, everything. Whether it's a commercial, a TV series, it doesn't matter. There's an illustrator that had something to do with that. That's the way things work. Now, I don't know for you. I know the gaming companies right now are big looking for illustrators because they started wanting to bring in illustrators to oversee their AI. So I think what they're really doing is they're using the illustrators to do the designs and concept of what they want. Then they're letting the AI develop it to a point, and then they're bringing the illustrators back in so that the illustrators can take it from that point, and make it a lot faster, and that way they can still copyright it. Because if they do it the other way, they can't copyright it. It doesn't matter who they are. If you can design a whole video game off of AI. When you put it out to market, you can't copyright it. So that's not going to work for anybody. It's just not the way. What's that, Philip? Well, gaming companies can be anything. You're thinking sci-fi games, which is true, but I mean, they got tennis games, they got golf games, they got basketball games, they got all sorts of games. They got trivial games. They've got board games on video now. See, all that stuff takes illustrators. Every one of those jobs. But is it a job you really want to get into? Because those get kind of mundane after a while. Because you just nonstop doing the same crap all the time. No, I think Steve is really looking to expand, especially with the kind of artwork. I think he wants to expand into maybe the general market. What do you think, Steve? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, I'm my goal ultimately to be like independently freelance stuff. I've done a few jobs for game companies in the past, and it's kind of nice to have that freedom almost. And I think a lot of places these days do tend to hire and contract people to do specific jobs rather than have somebody on staff. Yeah,
and that's true too. It's cheaper on them. In the end, they're still getting what they want, and they're paying for it, but they're only paying for they're getting a set price from whatever the illustrator's telling them.
Yeah, then they get the choice of illustrators. This guy does this stuff well. This guy
That's
does
true.
this stuff well. So they can pick and choose then.
And if they need, they can always bring in an extra one here and there, or one or two here and there. What's that, Kirby? Well, no, I mean, when it comes right down to it, it's a better thing for the companies. You don't have to keep that staff on. Well, you're going to always have some authors and some illustrators and some programs always on staff because you're going to need some things. But in general, for big projects, like let's say the illustrators come up with a particular project, they might just contract it out. Maybe contract it out one, maybe contract it out to more than one person. But it's and those contracts are usually pretty decent money. What I've personally found about authors, illustrators, contractors, and other professions is most people undervalue their worth. Oh, it was a hard lesson for me. I'm not even going to lie. When I first got into contracting, it was a hard lesson for me. I was always thinking I was charging too much when I was way under what I should be charging for. And then I got with this old guy who'd been a contractor for 50 years who says, let me show you how this really works, Joe. And sure enough, just a year with him, I tripled the amount of money I was making. Tripled. Yeah, because I was undervaluing what I was worth. Yes. Mm-hmm. Same thing in radio. It's the radio, painting, illustrating, authoring. It doesn't really matter. You have to know your self-worth. You really do. I think Steve got it under control. He's a good-looking guy. He's ready to go, cause some trouble. Yeah. Them illustrators are bad. You got to watch them illustrators, man. They just, especially if they're over like 20, 30 years old, they bad, man. Damn, illustrators get out of control. What is that, Carol? No, he's going to be in LA with the rest of us. Speaking of that, I meant to ask you this again. Website, you got any website with any of your art on it?
Yeah, it's called SteveBentleyArtwork.net.
Okay, so when I see you, when we get together in LA to do a little bit longer of an interview, I'll have you, we'll put your site down here in the scroll so people can find it easier. But what we'll do is we'll go through it because we can bring it up on the screen with us. It'll put you and I on this side of the screen, and it'll put the artwork dead center of the screen. Cool. So we can go through it and show them. You can pick out pictures, or we can do them all for that matter. Because that's a different setup in LA. We can go anywhere from 15 minutes up to 2 hours. So we leave that up for the different guests. I mean, because some of the illustrators are young and get scared. And I can be a little bit scary sometimes. So I might get like 20 minutes with them. Most of the authors are going to be at least an hour. The good illustrators are usually going to be an hour too, because they have work they want to go through, stuff they want to show, stuff they're proud of. And that's what we're there for. I'm Friendly Press, and that's what we're there for. And all of this is going to go in. And a lot of this will go on the website when we come back. A lot of the videos that we do here will go on the website when we come back. We'll have a special page just for those archives and videos, so people can just go find and look at them. I mean, they're on YouTube too, but YouTube for us is storage. We gave up on making money on YouTube because every time we get anything big over there, we get kicked off. So we just said the hell with it. We do, and we're not even doing anything bad anymore. We used to do all kind of crazy shows on the network. Now we don't, and still it's the same thing. So we just say, okay, that's the way you want to do this, then we'll just use y'all for storage, and we'll put everything somewhere else, which works. And you're actually on television today. You're on Roku television. So anybody who's got a Roku television system in their home, which I think it was 180 million people have, they can see you on television today. Last time I checked, there was about 26,000 people watching us on Roku. All together tonight, there'll be at least 600,000 people cross through this show tonight, at least. So, how many are actually here at this moment? I don't really know. I'd have to go pull the system to see, but I already know the show's been averaging somewhere right around 600,000. So, do they buy stuff? Do they not buy stuff? I have no idea. This is a new show. This is really only like the 10th show of this new show. So we're still learning what it's good for. We don't know who's listening to it. We had some ideas. We know definitely it's people who are into books and art because they're coming here for that. But or they're the kind of people who buy stuff, or the kind of people who just watch stuff, the kind of people that want something for free. I have no idea yet. I just don't. I know the people listening to UFO Undercover don't want to buy anything. They are the laziest SOBs I've ever seen. The ones that watch news on the flip side, though, they buy stuff. They actually will buy. They won't buy books, mind you, for some reason, but they'll buy all kind of other stuff. And we sold I don't know, a couple hundred lightsabers for a guy last year. We were giving them away, and every time we gave one away, they'd come back and buy these damn lightsabers were $1,000 a piece. Freaking, Do I have one in here with me? Where's it at? Oh, it's over there. I mean, they're cool lightsabers. I mean, the ones like Kyle Ren's, his was $999. Obi-Wan's was about the same, and they started at about $150, but the ones with $150 didn't have no sounds. And yeah, I mean, really, I said $1,000 for a toy, and I asked the guy, I said, how many do you sell? He said, I said a lot. So he gave away 36 last year and 42 this year. And out of that, he sold close to 1,000 lightsabers between the 2 years. I'm like, man, I should have asked for a cut.
Maybe it's make lightsabers.
Hey, when I was at FanX this year, there was three different groups making them over there. And Dragon kind of thing was the same. And there was big crowds around.
Yeah.
I was like, really? I was like, okay, maybe I was thinking maybe I need to change professions here. And they have all kind of extras you can get them. It's all retarded stuff, but the funny reason I brought it up is one of the guys there, one of his people there, is an illustrator who designs the hilts of the lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got permission to use, all the original designs from Star Wars, which is Disney now, of course. Right. And but they do design other ones besides that, that they can charge less money for. The ones that are Star Wars related, they have to charge more. I imagine they have to pay at least some fees to sell them, but the other ones are nice. And what's funny is you can get two different types of tips on them. One is a glass tip, and it's a very delicate tip. It's very pretty. And the other one is what they call the fighting tip, because I didn't know they actually have contests where they go fight each other with these damn things. And it's made out of hard plastic. Thank God, too, because that's the one I got, because I've dropped it. My dog's kicked it over. Shit, one of my dogs was trying to chew on it the other day. I was like, really? Right. So it's just one of them things. But we'll get your website up next time. We'll get all that up there. We'll just kind of go through it. You can pick. I mean, when it comes to the websites, I'll let y'all decide, because usually we'll have enough time to go through all the material. But if not, we let y'all decide what you want to show people and not. And it's easy to control. We'll bring it up in here and then just tell us where to go from that. We'll just click go. And I'm pretty sure most of the time we have the ability to expand and zoom in and stuff like that. So it's a nice feature to this particular radio system or TV system, actually. So and that way and people can actually kind of get an idea of the process and things like that, and a little bit into your head kind of stuff. But it's always fun, and also it gives you like a little mini resume that's already on a video, and y'all are allowed to use these. Cool. So the station owns them, but we own them in the fashion that they're here for y'all. I mean, they'll always be up and people can watch them, but you can download them. You can send people over to them. It's whichever way you want to. If you want to send it out to somebody that's, you might want to show your artwork that you want to be explaining it to. That's why I tell the illustrators, especially, I said, when we're doing these shows, think about this as kind of a selling pitch, because you might want to send these off to somebody you want to do work for and say, hey, look, this is how I came up with these ideas. And it helps them to understand the artist. And I know 4 of them last year got jobs off of them.
Cool.
And one of them we got with this gaming company down here, which it's a hate-love relationship. They're paying him $150,000 a year. And he said, I'm doing a lot of work. He says, just nothing I personally want to do. I said, well, sometimes that's a bitch, man, but that's life. I said, if they're paying you good, and then he thinks, if he could just sell them individually, he would make more money. And he may be right. But then again, he may be starving to death too. That's a flip of the coin is what that is.
I guess it's a business as well. You have to think, you have to be sort of pragmatic about some of that. You are going to do jobs sometimes that you don't necessarily want to do, but it's still a job that's much more fun than a lot of jobs.
Oh yeah, it is.
You're making art, but it's great.
Yeah. Somebody asked me why I got into construction. I got a bachelor's in advanced avionics electronics, and somebody goes, why do you do construction? I said, because I like it. I said, I like the finished product. I said, I'll take pictures of a product, some dilapidated piece of crap that's fallen down, and then 6 months later, it's beautiful. And we did that, It's just a sense of pride is all it really is. It's the same reason I got in the radio, because I enjoy doing it. It's I figure why do a job you freaking hate? Excuse my language. I mean, really, I would rather make less money and have less stuff and enjoy my job than make a lot of money and be miserable all the time. And by the way, I've been there. I used to be a bigwig back in the day for a company, and they paid me really good. I'm not gonna lie, and I was miserable. I was working 70 hours a week. I was just miserable. And I was like, well, I called him one afternoon. He said, "You're quitting?" I said, "Yeah, I'm giving you my 30 days notice and I'm out of here." He said, well, you can't. They give me all kind of reasons why. I said, "I'm going." I said, what kind of severance packages I'm getting? He said, we're going to give you 90 days severance, and any reference you'll get will always be a great reference. Adios, amigos. And I still run into them people from time to time, but I enjoy what I do now. I have fun with it. It's fun bidding against people. It's fun getting jobs. It's anything else. Oh, and before I let you go, that's one thing you will get to hear a lot of there is they will, if you have questions about anything financial, there are several of the illustrators that are quite good with that. There's actually several of the authors that are quite good with it as well too. So anything you might be thinking about, and I know Wesley Dean and I did what's an S corp, what's a corp, what's a corporation. We went through all four of them for the group there, because everybody was saying, well, should I get this? I said, no. Sole proprietor is all you need in the beginning. That's all you need until you make X amount of money. That's all you need. S corps are fine, but you're not really going to need that until you get to a certain point. And S corps really are a thing that is more of a safety net to keep your private property safe. Like if you did something or your business went crazy and caused some kind, that's really what they're there for. And then of course corporations for when you're making a couple $1 million a year, that's what they're there for. It gives you a lot more breaks. But it's just stuff like that. I mean, it's little things like that, but you'll pick those up, and it's all kind of other little stuff they can tell you. And from time to time, they actually know where some work is, or sometimes they need help. That's what I was telling Tyler earlier. Mm-hmm. I've seen several people get hired, several illustrators get hired to work with other illustrators there. They get a bunch of contracts, they get behind this, they want to keep the work, so they bring somebody in that they know, can do it. And they're going to spend all these days with y'all, and they're already going to have your artwork in hand, so that they'll know, say, oh, well, this person can probably handle working like this or working like that or working like this. What do you mean, Chris? All right, last question before we go. We're already over what? Come on. Oh, you mean models? Okay, so Chris is just based. Chris, where are you from anyway? New York City. Well, hello up there in New York, man. Cold, rainy, nasty up there. Yeah, no riots in the streets or nothing. Just asking. I'm sorry. Bad Joe. Anyway, where'd your question go? Now I lost your question. You better find it, because I'm fixing to leave you out of here. I don't see it. Scroll it down. What you did? Deleted it? Or didn't rewrite it? Then how's that? Just make it easier on yourself. Oh, anyway, so she's done changed her mind, or he's done changed his mind. He said, do you have any artists yourself that you mean like mentors is what you're talking about, right, Pete? Okay. So there's two different questions here. One is, do you have any particular mentors that you've I know we talked about Frank Frazetta earlier. So is anybody else other than that?
There's been a few artists that over the years. There's a guy called Len Mirinch many years ago who actually got me into art school and helped me a lot. He's since passed on. He's probably a guy that nobody's ever heard of, who was a big influence on me professionally. From a point of view of artists I followed. When I was a kid, I was big into comics, and I used to, Brian Bolland is a very famous guy, did Killing Joke, which was a huge Batman story over here, and of course, Bernie Wrightson, who is a big hero of mine. I love his stuff. My stuff's like pop art people. I don't think it's really like traditional artists I would point my finger at. It's more like, comic book guys. And
that's still fun now. All that kind of stuff is fun.
It's got to be honest. That's the people that influence me more so than any sort of traditional famous, Picassos and that.
You're not the first person I've heard that, because not that there's not a lot of famous artists out there that could have impacts on people. Right. I have noticed more and more that it's more subtle than that in most cases. I have heard many times that, I was writing on my desk at school, or I was drawing on my desk, and teacher came up and introduced me to another teacher who took an interest in my work. And next thing I knew, I had a career, so I do see that. And it does seem to happen with illustrators a little more than other professions for some reason, maybe because it's such a visual thing, because for an author, it's a lot more. Somebody's got to actually sit there and read your book and decide that they want to help you with an illustration. You may walk up and see something that may actually drew physically on a desk and say, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine used to draw, they used to have a contest where you would draw the little, I guess it was a dressed up mouse or something. It was always in the back of a magazine somewhere. So he actually drew it on his desk at school one day, and his teacher saw it and showed it to his one of the art teachers. They brought him in. He right now he's teaching art at Tulane University, making about $175,000 a year,
Nice.
and loving it. He loves it. He said, I still get to do my stuff I like to do. And he does contract work. Part of his contract with Tulane was that if certain types of contracts would come up, that one of his more advanced students, could help teach the class while he was out doing that, which was a good deal in his case. Because I know just recently he did some work down here for Mardi Gras. And that's another thing. Then people who do the Mardi Gras posters, you don't want to know what kind of money they make. Lord have mercy. What's his name? Larry Hash, I think is Harris. He drew the Devil and Angel series. So he was smart. He did the first one, and it was really popular. And so he was going to do 4 or 5 more for him. So he said, look, I want a much bigger commission off of this. So he asked for 12%, 15%. They gave him 10. On that particular run, he made $11 million his second year on sales. Altogether, before it's all said and done, $47 million when he retired. And his oil paintings, I found one of them in New Orleans, the one where the devil's standing behind the angel. Mm-hmm. This guy had no idea what he had. This was the original oil that all of the damn posters were based on. And it was signed the whole 9 yards. I walked in, it was all dusty and dirty, way in the back of the room. I said, what do you want for this? He said, oh, about $3,000. I said, ain't no way, man. That thing's ruined. I said, I'll give you $700. He said, all right, go ahead and take it. I sold it on auction for $71,000.
Nice.
I could have probably got more out of it, but I wasn't, because I'm not an art collector. I do keep oils in the house from time to time, but only for stints, because my personality is too wacky to stay on one particular thing for too long. So it just moves around. That's why you can't see it. But in the studio, this studio actually has 4 studios in it. So this is what you see right now. See, you had seen the Frank Frazetta post. There's a whole nother thing over there. Then over there's a whole nother one. It's just whatever mood I happen to be in. Yes, it's called Crazy People. That's what it's called. But Steve and I had a blast with you tonight. I look forward to us getting to be able to see some of your artwork and getting it out for people to really get a look at it. See how you feel about it after you're there a couple of days of the Whirlwind and Writers of the Future. It's a lot of fun. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Looking forward to it.
I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you it's easy either, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's nonstop. They're always going. They Echo likes to bring in real models, which is nice. Oh, that's what that other question was. She had asked. She said, "Have you ever worked with models before?"
Oh yeah.
And that Echo brings them in. So it's always fun. One of the places we were staying at, I think it was the Roosevelt. They do it's like it's like a burlesque show they do. I think it's on Friday night. I noticed we were there last year. Several of the artists were in there drawing while the show was going on. No, Carol, it's not full burlesque. Nobody's getting naked now. It's not like that. No, it's not. We're not even going there. People get naked in Hollywood. We're not talking about that. This is at the Roosevelt Hotel. It's a fairly famous hotel. And it's in a hidden room. Matter of fact, this room, you don't even know it's there. It's a little sitting area where you sit, and there's a whole big bookcase right there. You grab the bookcase and you pull, and the bookcase opens, and the room is in there.
Cool.
Yes, it's a cool place. And do not ever order a whiskey sour there. They were $50.
Duly noted.
So, other than that, that was just. I looked at the girl. I looked up and I said, $50. I said, and what am I getting? everybody looked at me like, what did you say, Joe? I said, $50. What is I getting? I said, you can't be for that damn drink. I had a bunch of the illustrators with me that night. Shit was hilariously funny. The girls started telling me something, so they started drawing pictures of her on napkins. I was like, they were insane, man. I'm telling you, these people are insane. But Steve, I had a great time chatting with you. I look forward to meeting you in Los Angeles. Like I said, you're going to have a blast out there. Probably learn all kind of interesting stuff. But I really find that for people like you, you'll probably have specific questions you're going to want to ask while you were there. And,
Yeah.
and they may have specific things they want to tell you when they look at your artwork while you're there as well. So
Okay.
it's really beneficial for everybody. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a lot of fun. And like I said, I can't wait meeting you guys and girls. We got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Author's Quill. Remember, we are here every Saturday, 3 to 5. We never end on time, but we're here 3 to 5. Well, the Gray Zone's going to start. So the Gray Zone's going back into syndication. So it will start being here in a couple of weeks. And then Michelle told me yesterday that her and I are going to start doing a few new shows for the Gray Zone. Michelle DeRoche, who hosts the Outer Realm, she's been every freaking sci-fi, ghosty, paranormal television show that's ever existed. I can't show y'all her television because it's for the station, but there are more than 350 appearances or series she's been in. Oh yeah, it's insane. And she's insane because if it's scary and nasty and like someone died there, she wants to sleep there. Oh yeah, she's crazy. So that's why she's in charge of all these crazy hosts, because she knows how to deal with them. Anyway, guys and girls, we got to go and thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and Author's Quill. I will see y'all. Well, I'm not back until Wednesday, so y'all will see me on Wednesday. Be sure to tune in with John on Monday and all the rest of the shows. Catch Writers of the Future and the entire Monday lineup, which is a great lineup these days. And again, I'll see y'all on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So behave and stay out of trouble. And be sure, I'm only going to say this one time, get your ass out and vote this year. I don't even care who it's for. Actually, just vote. That's all I'm saying. This is my favorite saying. If you don't vote, you can't bitch. Good.